Yeah, he may not.
Mic check, mic 3, mic check, mic 3, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. That 2K golf. Like,
What?
2K golf.
No, I haven't yet. I heard y'all. Keep hearing y'all.
You like
talk
it?
about
Yeah.
You hooked on it, ain't you? Bro, I've been playing the shit out of it, man. I need to get.
You done got the hang of it already?
I started to back now.
I said, I'm jumping on that. It's fun, man. But then I get but yeah, I love it.
I bought FIFA too.
That's my next purchase. I got 2K golf and basketball for $59.99 together. It was on sale. It was on sale the day after Christmas. I was on that. Got down.
He don't care about that.
He don't say nothing till,
He always say
till
that
today.
shit. He always,
No, this is on Xbox.
Xbox. That's why I tell you, he don't care. He got that shit to play on.
That's the prime example right
Yeah,
there.
he don't care. He don't care about it.
That's Nick proving his experience.
He don't care. He don't play that shit.
Oh man. Yeah, you good. You and I are good. Yeah, I'm trying to play more games.
Yeah, Madden gets tiresome.
It gets redundant. Like this thing.
Eventually,
You know how to beat them. It's just
Well, I
playing.
think this version is harder. There's always challenges.
They do like woman shit. Like I feel like they will go over it.
Yeah.
You've been doing it. Been successful.
What are you talking about?
Oh no, it's not.
Oh,
They delayed it.
okay. That's
So
what I was like. I haven't
It's supposed to be this year. Now,
with the NILs and shit, boy.
Man, college football.
That used to be my favorite.
I know
game.
Reggie Bush be
That was
kicking and
awesome.
screaming every morning. That nigga could have been a Nike $10 million a year athlete.
Ed O'Bannon changed everything. That's who got
Him and his brother.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
What up, y'all? How we sound? Everybody sound good? What up?
Yo.
What it do?
I guess we're supposed to say Happy New Year. I guess that's the thing.
That's the name.
Yeah.
That's it.
How long y'all take this? When is the last time? I said
it.
I
This
said
the day.
MLK weekend.
Yeah,
It's
this
like
the
the
day.
last time you could.
No, I think this weekend, like before the 17th, you done by MLK. You got to give MLK a whole
It's
like
the last.
runway.
It's the
right?
last. It's first of all, it's a black man.
You got to give, yeah, exactly. So you got to give him a whole week. Get that New Year shit out of here before MLK. You ain't like that?
I say up until MLK weekend, 15th. Once it 15th, all right. After that, you don't give a fuck about the nigga who you saying Happy New Year to.
Okay, I can live with that.
Okay. Well, anyway, this is the place where sports opinions collide. Dead End Sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inch. Joining me on the show, we have Nick,
What's going on, y'all?
Spike Lou.
What up, though?
FIFO is not here. FIFO will also not be here next week, but he'll be returning the week after. And he is back finally.
Hey,
Shelton J is in the building, y'all.
what's happening?
Yep.
Okay,
So
he took the boot off. He was walking.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
man. We had to roll him in here. We had to roll
Yeah,
him on
yeah.
in, man.
Mhm.
Rolling along.
Yep. So you're now tuned into the best live sports talk show on YouTube. No filter, no agendas. Just some homies sitting around talking about sports. As we get ready to kick things off, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button, the like button, leave a comment, share the show, let everybody else know that we're about to get started. And if you're not a member, help support the show. So go to youtube.com/deadendsports, hit the join button, become a member. And yeah, as a member, we are doing not this week, but every other week, we're actually doing call-ins. So as a member, you can actually call in and kick it with us. And yeah, that's it. So a lot has happened
Too much.
since we've been gone.
Too much.
Playoffs, the national championship was last night. Hamlin injury. It's been crazy.
Even in the NBA, I even say it. Surprisingly, Lou.
I can't believe that things
some
have
shit,
happened
some
in
shit
the
happened
NBA.
in the NBA,
Yeah. So
It's crazy.
the 70-point game, you made a video about that.
Yeah.
Speaking of videos, the 365 thing, of course, is done, but we'll still be doing topical videos here and there. I wanted to do one about Dana White beat the shit out of his wife.
I know.
know?
I heard Bomani talk about him and Fox where he talked about how nobody was saying shit.
The hush thing about it is insane.
I heard
right?
there was
It's a petition to try to get him out.
Yeah, I said there was a little memo that went out that like
memo.
tell y'all don't talk about
Oh
it.
yeah. The reporters tweeted about it and was saying, "Yeah, I got shit to say," but they told me
he
not
got a lot
to
of
say
money.
shit.
He got
I
a
saw
lot
they
of bread.
started a petition.
Well, they had
trying
a
to make him
partnership
step
that they
down
were
on.
working on.
That's what I'm saying. He had bread. Like they got bread on the line.
Yeah. So yeah.
Hey man, look, strikes again.
Damn, did you write that?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I
Because he definitely did some striking.
And what's crazy, they took the thing that it was crazy that he had a slap show that got taken off because he slapped his wife.
Yeah,
Like, ain't
man.
that like you would think
That
like,
was-
hold on,
that
I'm
was
not
a-
really surprised by that
Was that a
sentence.
preview for the show?
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought he was
Shoot
doing
the
it.
promo.
He thought it was, he thought it was Ray's barbecue shop. Slapping his girl like,
Oh man, he did not take too kindly, bro. His wife smacked him, and next thing you know, she disappeared.
Don't play that
yeah,
shit. I don't play that. Run a tight ship.
She disappeared from the video. I'm
Quick
like,
Ike's in there.
Yeah, eat the
Yeah,
cake, eat
so,
the cake in him, man.
that's fucked up, Dana.
It is. Man.
And the fact is, and then everybody's little, thing that they're saying, well, he's always spoken up against domestic violence and stuff like that. He had his wife. He probably threatened her ass to send
Right.
out that fake ass little thing about he's never done this before and shit like that. I don't believe that shit for one bit. He probably had her do that to try to get shit back right. And fucking damn, Stephen A. Smith should be ashamed of himself, and Molly should be a fucking ashamed of himself.
Yeah.
And a lot
Molly,
of
they
these
called
other
out Molly. They
motherfuckers.
said she had all that rah-rah for
Yeah,
what's the
LeVar
name?
Ball.
A lot of motherfuckers.
Yeah.
bro.
LeVar, yeah, when she was talking about when he said what did he say to her? She really like took it overboard when he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll
Just
switch chickens
slight
with you," or
words at
some
that.
shit like that.
Yeah. It was kind of crazy, bro. So, but I just money, bro, money and power, bro.
Money and
Yeah.
power.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that on that. So I don't even know where we start, bro.
Because I don't know where to start either. A lot of shit happened, and this is I got a quarrel with somebody who said this. I think it was between Sheldon, you or FIFO, about us not doing picks for the end of the season. Because I was like, nigga, I did all that shit for us. That we missed out on picks and all this shit. We didn't know what we was gonna.
Yeah, we missed 3 weeks.
We missed like about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
because we ain't. Yeah.
We didn't do the last 2 weeks. I don't think.
That
I think we
was-
stopped at week 15 or 16. One of them.
Do you mind?
That was Shelton.
It was.
Definitely
Because he
Shelton.
was like, so much could change.
Yeah, so much.
Yeah.
Like,
And he
nigga,
wanna
ain't
put-
I don't know what
shit
can happen in
Yeah.
10, 15 game lead, but still,
We gonna pick
I
Super
don't
Bowl
wanna-
winners at the top of the year, but we can't pick 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
What's up?
How about we start with the national championship and the blowout because we started there before we
Yeah.
left.
Then we go into
And it
football.
shouldn't be a lot to talk
Yeah,
about.
so well, I don't think we talked about TCU being Michigan or Ohio State's game
Yeah,
against
we didn't.
Georgia. I was surprised TCU beat Michigan, but I was more surprised at the way they did it as far as throwing up 50. Wasn't it like 45?
Michigan don't
60,
got
60.
no. Michigan
Yeah,
ain't
they-
never
they-
got no
Yeah, they got
dog.
65-7, I think.
No, not the championship game. I'm talking about when TCU beat
Oh,
Michigan.
TCU beat Michigan. Oh,
Yeah, it
I'm
was like
sorry, I'm
51-45 or some shit. I didn't think Michigan was going to give up that many points defensively.
I
I
think
didn't
that's
think TCU's offense was that potent offensively, but like they were making plays. They had like 2 pick sixes and all that shit. So yeah, they handled their business. And after that, Cuz was like the head coach ain't give a fuck after that. I got my dub. I won the game I wasn't supposed to win. I'm facing Georgia. Whatever happens, happens.
facts. Yeah, he went into that championship game.
He got about 5 coaching
Like it
job
didn't
offers,
matter, right.
offers after beating Michigan off that.
I think that this year's championship, it makes me excited that there's going to be more teams. I'm happy that
I'm not.
there'll be more teams to dilute out a TCU. Like
Well,
it's
we got
happy.
one more-
No, they're going.
We got one more year.
He's talking about the year.
Yeah, I'm just talking about whenever they do it. I'm glad that they will
They do-
coming.
yeah,
be
but
doing.
they're
Yeah,
going
I'm
up
just glad
I
that it's
think they're
coming.
going up to 12. I don't want.
That's fine to
12.
me
That's
because
too
you got to
much.
dilute out.
Nah,
need
The last
12.
thing that I want to see as a college football fan is what we seen yesterday.
Right.
I'm watching 20 minutes of the game and I'm out of
But
there.
you don't get that if you don't get the Michigan game.
Yeah,
my
but there's
thing.
more steps to that. But we can dilute out the TCUs before we get to the main game on Monday where everybody's watching and it's 65-7.
Because
Bro, it's
Alabama,
college football. Hey, once
Alabama
you get to this
TCU
level,
took
Yeah,
them
see,
out.
I don't agree with that. I was talking about that in the group chat with some other guys. They were talking about, well, it's not that many good teams in college football. I think there is.
you know
Like
what I'm saying?
it depends on how it lies out. If we were putting the best teams in the playoff, Alabama would have been out. No, can't hate that. But Alabama wouldn't have been. I mean, Alabama lost by 6 points in 2 games. If we had Alabama in the college playoff, then you don't get this blowout on Monday night.
My thing is, I don't have sympathy for Alabama because they was dominant.
Not sympathy, just as a fan.
No. That's sympathy that you're
Nah,
giving out,
as a
'cause you
fan,
saying
I want to
these
see a
niggas-
better game.
These niggas should have been here, not these niggas.
I want to see a better
you
game,
sympathetic
bro.
to them not getting in.
The reason
I'm saying Alabama had all that time.
Yes.
They should have won the games. How you lose to
Because
Brian Kelly?
the reason that we took it away from the BCS and the computers is because we wanted to use our eyes and the eye test. If I'm looking at the eye test and you're telling me that TCU is a better team than Alabama, I don't believe that.
What is your eye test?
Now,
What is
my eye test
hold on,
tells
let
me that Alabama lost 2 games
So it's
in the
2
SEC
okay, and then what's the
by
other-
6 points
And
total.
what did TCU lose? How many games
I
they
don't
lose?
know.
It was only one game,
Oh,
right? In
yeah.
the championship.
I don't know what
How
they
many
lost.
how many teams Ohio State lose to? Sheldon,
Who
can
the
you
better
remind me?
team, though? Who the better team?
It was one.
Yeah, one.
Who the better
right?
team?
Do you think
So
Michigan
2
would
and 1.
Do you think Michigan would have put up a better fight?
I
Nah,
don't think so.
You
I
think
don't.
so?
I don't.
Yeah, I
honestly.
don't. I didn't believe in
I
Michigan.
thought
Ohio
Georgia
State was the one.
I thought Georgia
Ohio
was going to
State
do
was-
Ohio State
yeah.
like they did TCU. To be honest, I was surprised at that.
So
game.
I think that's the thing. So if it's almost like no way around it, unless you're saying that
But that's why I'm
Alabama would
happy
have beat.
we add more teams
That
because
doesn't
that's the
count.
way around it.
It
You
don't
dilute
count.
out all like
You
I,
think so?
at least I don't get a blowout in the national championship game. I might get that in
You're
the
not
first
gonna
round
avoid
or the
that.
second
You're
round.
not going to avoid that.
It's been a history of blowouts in the national.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why we add more teams. So now I dilute them out in the first and
Ohio
second
State
round.
was in the national championship getting blown out by Florida and them. We seen
They don't make it to the championship now. That's what I'm saying.
no, I'm saying, but those like it's college football. Anybody can get
Lou,
blown out.
You can't necessarily say that because we had TCU beating Michigan. So in your
Ooh.
scenario, any given Sunday, bro.
Right.
So
Or
some of them
Saturday.
teams may get popped.
And I
See-
think
see-
that's why it adds to it though, because you add the scenario of any given Sunday on top of the better team should win, almost like an NCAA 64 field. I have more interest as a fan as opposed to I get to tune in for 20 minutes in the national championship game and it's over. At least I get a couple more weekends.
what are you gonna say?
I
Sean?
feel you. It's just tough to call. I like the idea of more teams because so anybody can get hot. You know what I'm saying? And you can get hot and go on a run, but a team like TCU would have been out of this thing. I agree with you. They'd have been out. Michigan to me would have been out. I never liked their offense. Didn't really believe in the
Quarterback,
defense. I
terrible.
always think they're slow. And the bad thing about it is these SEC teams would be dominant, I think, like they are. But it wouldn't be all that bickering because it's only 4 spots. Now they're gonna prove themselves, and the Final Four probably will be all SEC. I know Tennessee was better than most of those other guys. I know that even with Joe Milton at quarterback, they was better. If you look at Alabama should have been there. You know what I'm saying? Even if you
didn't
take
win the
both of them out,
games,
give me
though.
USC.
My thing is this
didn't
though,
win the
like
game.
based
Even
off the
USC,
y'all
bro.
be want to make exceptions for certain
Yep.
niggas and not follow the rules.
But that's why
But
you
when
put
you see
humans
goofy
in
niggas like
charge, bro.
TCU, you be like, nah, nigga, you can't come in. No, the rule is no team with 2 losses can be in the Final Four.
Period.
Alabama was a team with 2 losses.
They
I don't give a
fucked
fuck
up.
if Nick Saban is on
That's
network
not the
TV
rule, though.
trying to make sure that these niggas get in. They had 2 losses.
That's been the
That's it.
precedent, though.
That's what I'm saying. And the reason that we put humans in there instead of computers is because sometimes the precedent isn't what holds up for the best of the people.
But see
That's why we put humans. That's why there's a
but the
committee of 13
humans that
people.
you're referring to set the precedent.
The humans you referring to lost those games. Nigga, that's what you needed. That's what you needed to
The
do.
humans picked TCU over Alabama,
Right,
which at the
because they
time,
accept-
for precedent, you're right. That's
Yeah.
correct. However, now that we see it playing out at the end, it's not.
They ain't gonna change it, bro. Like if they're doing this playoff thing, then it's gonna change by default anyway.
I just don't
Right.
like. I don't like 12. I'm good with it. They should stop at 8.
I like 12.
8 teams is enough.
They give
You
us
don't-
more good
12
college
is when you
football.
see you see Bethune Cookman
Cincinnati.
in that motherfucker. I'm like, all right, they had a good year, but they really shouldn't be.
You
in
said
it.
it on
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Nah, don't
That's
say
gonna
nah,
be-
Cincinnati
gonna be the
Cincinnati
one.
broke
See
the mold. They
Cincinnati.
broke the seal. We the first non-power 5 team to get to that motherfucker. So that's history right there. We
Yeah,
made history.
Georgia they just have they run like fucking deers, man. They have too many athletes, bro.
I tell you what, if Marvin Harrison Jr. had got hurt, Georgia would have been
in
running
trouble.
nothing because they
would've
had him
lost
beat.
that game.
They had him beat.
Yeah,
And I was watching that game, and I couldn't believe Ohio State played that well.
It was
All those people that say Ryan Day was born on third base and don't know how to coach. He damn showed himself.
y'all
in that
really
game.
think they had that much of an impact on that kick? That 1 yard loss.
Not the 1 yard loss. I just think that they had a hell of a game plan because I think they were
I
outmatched.
think they should have.
They were outmatched. They should have got the doors blew off of them.
They should have went for a touchdown to the last second where they were forced to kick a field. Like we only got like 3 seconds left. We got to kick a field because they were already. If he was willing to make a 48 yarder at this 46 yarder, and they still had like at least 30 seconds left. If I remember correctly,
Right.
They could have made a couple more plays because he was driving. Like that was the best I've seen CJ Stroud probably ever.
That was his best
that's
game.
QB, right?
Yeah, see, I never understood that talk about CJ, and I got to ask y'all a question about that too, and I'm gonna get to the question in a second. But the one play that changed that game was the 4th and 1. I knew Ohio State was gonna fake that, and at the last minute, Kirby Smart, somebody called from upstairs like they're gonna fake it, call a timeout. He got the timeout in just in time. That was the play of the game because the game was over at that point.
Well, I mean, Ohio State gave up the lead when they could have stumped their foot on their necks and they just didn't do it. But and then Marvin Harrison getting hurt.
Let me ask y'all something though, and this dealing with the CJ Stroud thing. We get a lot of flack, and Manny, especially in the chat, was going hard at CJ Stroud all season. People go hard at Bryce Young. People go hard at black quarterbacks. What black quarterback that y'all know of? Because here's the thing that I had a group discussion with my friends were talking about. Every year they pick a white hope kind of guy. Every year this year's Will Levis. Who has done absolutely nothing. He ain't done shit. But everybody's Will Levis is the prototype. And they talk about him every year. They give him all it, and he got the dog in it, right? Yeah. They give him all his hype. Last year it was Zach Wilson out of nowhere. Did nothing in college, scared of the pocket. It's been Josh Rosen, it's been Sam Darnold. It's been all these different guys without the accolades to go along with the production. Right. And they get this hype. What black quarterback? If you think about the black quarterbacks, you think about Lamar Jackson, who was all world. They wanted him to change position. What black quarterback did they hype up like that?
There's two, obviously. And they were both picking the top 2. It was Cam Newton and RG3. When Cam was coming out,
Watson and Cam. RG3 didn't get RG3 failed.
But Deshaun Watson he wasn't even a top 5 pick. But I'm just saying, like, we're talking about if we're talking about
they said he may not know how to win.
Yeah, they say he didn't know how to.
He beat Alabama.
If we're talking about black quarterbacks coming out of college with hype, it's definitely Cam and RG3.
I thought about Cam too. But the knock on Cam was he couldn't lead. So they used to try to say Cam couldn't lead.
But he proved that in the championship game when he took Auburn.
But they was tearing him up after the fact. And I think
Vic was the most promising prospect at sophomore year after the red shirt sophomore year at Virginia Tech. He played that championship game against Florida State. Like Vic was, I ain't really remember hearing them saying other than such a raw talent, such arm strength. I can't remember them really dogging Vic. But I do understand what you're saying because they have slighted every other black quarterback since then. But I think it's Vic.
You got Manny hyping up fucking JJ Fad in the group chat. I'm like, bro, and they were hyping him up in that game too.
I think it's Vic. I agree with most of what you're saying, Sean.
Yeah,
I just think sense. That
even with Bryce Young now, they killing him.
They're killing him.
But this QB class is really still like it's better than the last one, but it's still mid. It's not like there's not one person in this QB class where I'm like he has to be the number one.
Bryce Young to me. Bryce Young is that.
Russell Wilson.
They try to say.
Well, they saying he's slight. They saying he's slight like Tua, so not actually head-to-head hits, but getting thrown to the ground.
Russell Wilson
and having concussions.
Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, Zach Wilson. Like, do I need to go on? Like, all these niggas is little short motherfuckers, at least compared to the NFL level, that once they get hit a couple times, they out for half a season or a few games. Like, they're not built for taking those hits in the league. It's been proven. And if you use a top 5 pick on them, it proves it. Don't look at Zach Wilson again. Look at Tua. Even look at Trey Lance can't even stay on the fucking field.
And I thought about Trey Lance
quarterback though.
I thought about Trey Lance on the black side too, but they questioned that pick. Jordan Love is black They question that pick. Every black
Well, I would
quarterback.
have questioned that pick too.
I
Jordan
would
Love
too.
is a
I'm
questionable
just
pick.
using them as example though. Every black quarterback that's drafted,
Justin Fields is the one that
anywhere.
you should be. That's the
they
slight.
question that too.
He should have been the Jets pick.
But
the
they
Jets would
question-
probably won the AFC East if they had just.
But they
No,
questioned him
the-
too because
the-
they dropped him.
they-
That's
they
why he
did, yeah.
dropped.
Yeah.
The 49ers and the Jets fucked up because they both will probably be in the playoffs if not have Super
Right.
Bowl. As far as like between the 49ers, they probably won a Super Bowl.
Then
with
I'm
the Jets.
listening on the radio today, and these dudes are saying the question of the day is should they trade Justin Fields and draft a quarterback?
That's what Max and
Right.
Jonathan was talking about today. And I can see that happening because the city of Chicago.
It's not a bad move for the Bears, though.
That's what I'm saying. The Arizona Cardinals set the precedent. Like even if we draft the QB 1 year or whatever, we can reset this shit.
Who did they have before Kyler Murray?
They had Josh Rosen.
Ah,
So
Mhm.
the year before,
that's
top
true.
10 pick.
Great
too.
white height.
That's true.
And that just shows Arizona.
And he was trash.
Arizona's a horrible organization. But with the Bears, I see the logic only because I've been playing Madden franchise for a minute. I see the logic because Justin Fields is going into year 3, which means that he's going into
Save money.
contract extension year, and the Bears have nothing around him. Literally nothing around
So if I
him.
get Bryce Young,
So why pay this nigga $200+ million for nothing around him when I can trade him, restart the rookie contract, and trade and if I trade him, I get a draft haul more than likely.
So that means
Well,
you
not even
believe-
that.
But see,
Even
that means
with
he
Bryce
believes
Young-
in
The
those
GM said it.
quarterbacks.
but the
GM
thing with Bryce Young and Fields is they thinking, to Shelton's point, I can trade Fields and Young is gonna be equally as good or better.
Right.
Exactly. I mean,
When that ain't like, how would you?
it's not a factual thing, but I can see the scenario. And the GM came out. I read a quote. And he said, "Look, I'm not going to draft the QB unless he just like
Wows
like
me.
he wows me, something
Right.
like that."
So who's to say Bryce Young don't wow him?
He could.
That's kind of the point.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
he's still leaving that door open to say like shit ain't nothing set in stone. This nigga, he ain't take us to no Super Bowl. He ain't take us to the playoffs. He hasn't got us over 500. So like I can see the reasoning. I think it's fucked up, but I can see the reasoning.
I think the pick is just as valuable. I trade the pick.
I trade the pick.
I'll trade the pick too.
100%.
I'll trade the pick too. But
That's
since you do have the number 1 pick, all options have to be on the table.
It have to be.
And y'all already in a rebuild anyway.
I think you
But would they
asking
do that
for it.
with-
You
would they
asking
do-
for it if you the Bears, if you trade that pick and it blows up in your face. People will ridicule you as a bad organization for 10 years to come.
What are the Bears represent?
And that's what I'm saying.
So
This
well,
is
let
the
me ask y'all-
opportunity to build on what you think that you have with Fields, get some good draft picks, trade back. That will be the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
The Bears thing to do,
That's
like you
only
said,
smart.
is
That's
what they
only
doing.
smart if you really fuck with Justin Fields.
So
do
why wouldn't you?
And
though?
I gotta
He led
ask
the
y'all,
league in rushing.
do you really?
Damn
But
near.
do you fuck with Justin
Yeah.
Fields? Would you build around Justin Fields?
Absolutely.
So
And I'm saying that to say, based on how the league looks and what he showed me, with nothing around him, and he still rushed. I think he rushed for 1,000 yards.
He's over 1,000 yards.
Give him some receivers, give him a good running back, give him a coach who can coach, and I'd like to see what he can do versus putting Bryce Young, who's half his size, out on the
But
field.
are you willing to
and
do
risking
that and pay him $200 million in the
Yeah.
next year or two?
I would.
You doing the same thing?
Yeah. My without questioning me, would they consider trading Trevor Lawrence in the same position? It would never even come up.
Trevor Lawrence.
They already built around.
It would never
Trevor
come up.
Lawrence.
Same thing with Justin Herbert, though.
They
I'm saying
never-
no. In the same situation.
Oh, you're
these-
saying in the same situation.
Yeah. They wouldn't even consider that. They would still consider those guys a quarterback.
But I think those situations are different because Trevor Lawrence, to me, the Bears.
No,
love-
he was saying if Trevor Lawrence was in Justin Fields' position.
Right.
No, they
Not
wouldn't
what he
even
did,
mention.
Yeah,
No,
they
they
these
probably
still are
wouldn't. They probably wouldn't. They
prototypical
probably
We
wouldn't.
have
quarterbacks.
a quarterback.
These are quarterbacks.
They wouldn't. They wouldn't.
Yeah,
You're right.
But
So-
it's only because
That's a
Justin
good point
Fields'
there, you're right.
highlights aren't throwing highlights; they're running highlights.
It's
Yeah,
only
and if
because-
Trevor Lawrence was running, they probably would still keep him because they were like,
And Trevor Lawrence is one they'll talk about.
I
They talk about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones and Justin Fields don't get the same type of press. Well, just Daniel Jones used to get horrible press, and now he's like no one's really just saying anything about him. But they're doing the same style of offense, just that they don't got the wins.
But
And I based that off the head coach.
Even talking about Daniel Jones,
He got a better team.
you never heard nobody ever say nothing about
Let's not
replacing
go that
Daniel
far.
got
Jones.
Saquon Barkley.
That's it. Name
Justin-
me another nigga.
if
Name
Justin-
me another nigga.
If Justin Fields
Name
had
me another
Saquon
nigga.
Barkley, they probably challenge the Vikings for that division.
Okay, name me another nigga on the Giants.
All right, that's it.
Exactly.
That's all they need.
They got Justin Fields and they got
Saquon Barkley, a
so they
super
got-
nigga though.
all right, so what's next?
But
But anyway, I don't think that him rushing for a -1 yard affected. That fucking kicker was nervous as shit.
True.
He was gonna shank that motherfucker. one
that's
way
what
or
I was
another.
saying. I did not want that game to be decided by a fucking kicker,
Yeah, he was gonna shank that.
and
bitch
that's
one
why
way
I
or
said they
another.
should have just went for it, try to go for it.
So, you know.
But moving on to the NFL, This is Final Take Tuesday. Since the regular season is officially over, we will be giving y'all in this episode our top 5 positions for the NFL 2022-2023 season, and also who was the winner of our weekly picks for the 2022-23 regular season. But before that, of course, we weren't here to talk about the Hamlin situation. Obviously, I think I'm assuming that we all in our chat, we was like, bro, we hope the brother get well, and we're glad that he did. Shout out to UC Cincinnati Hospital, arguably one of the best hospitals in the whole country, probably top 5. But I'm not just saying that because I'm a homer, but that's you can look at the stats.
Other people were saying
you can look at the stats, like especially the children's
hospital.
hospital. Like you would want to send your kid there regardless of where you at.
Yeah.
But the question I want to bring up, since we're talking about injury, I should throw this to you, Sheldon. Does the injury to Hamlin bring up the conversation amongst the NFLPA about fully guaranteed contracts? Because when I heard the Bills did right by Hamlin by fully guaranteeing his contract, because I think when he wasn't playing games, he was only making like $15,000 a week, but his contract was only like $3,000 to $5,000.
Yeah, he would have got
$3 to
like
$5 million.
Yeah,
so
he would got like half, if not. But once again, I a lot of people been giving him a lot of credit. I don't give the Bills that. I do give the Bills credit, but it's not something I'm thinking about because they really didn't have a choice but to do it. I mean, America was watching. If you hadn't paid that man, it would have been they would have had hell to pay in the PR department. So, good thing that they did do it, but I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, great. Like, no, they didn't do that out of goodness of their heart. They did it because of the outcry of America, which was awesome to see everybody come together like that. I appreciated it. But, yeah, that should come up. It really should. And it's up to the players to fight for themselves. They're going to have to fight for it this time because I think that they kind of gave in on this last CBA on a lot of points based off what I was hearing. Especially from talking about this case with old boy that was talking, that was pretty deep, but they agreed to those terms. So I'm like,
they agree because everybody trying to get some type of money.
They're trying to get paid. Yeah.
What about you, Lou? What did you think about the whole situation? Do you think it was as genuine as Sheldon was saying, as far as how the NFL community and how the world reacted to that game and that situation?
Yeah, I do think it was genuine. I think that people, especially in the microwave society that we live in now, people want to make sure that they are doing the just due for whatever happens or going on so they get proper accolades. I think part of it is genuine and part of it so people would give them credit. I do credit the Bills for actually going through with it because they could have said nothing about it. Like they could have just glossed over it and, prayers for Hamlin and not made such a big deal out of it. But I'm glad that it happened. I'm glad that he got his just due. I'm glad the donations went to his family, that he was able to come through on the back end from it. I do think that it was interesting, a lot of the players' reactions and how it came to the forefront of how dangerous football really is, as far as you getting out there and this being able, this can happen on any play. And just how you seen the Ryan Clarks and the different people on ESPN just kind of give a real genuine reaction that you don't usually see them give. I, for lack of a better word, enjoyed seeing them in that bag. The circumstances weren't great, but I did enjoy seeing them being genuine people, showing concern.
What about you, Ken? Do you think that we're leading towards fully guaranteed contracts because of situations like this?
No.
Yeah, no to your question, though. I didn't answer it.
No. It's all about money. He lived and he's still alive and he recovered. What was it? What was the guy? Spears said he never thought what happened to Hamlin could happen to him when he was playing. What happened was very rare. You see it happen. Maybe see stories here or there.
They talk about it happens in baseball sometimes.
College football.
League baseball,
high school football, and you hear about players. What happened to him having a cardiac arrest on the field? Is very rare. We can't count how many times that happened. It's one in football. It just adds to the conversation about you can get hurt, but if they actually really did an assessment of how many people, they track CTE deaths that older players have to CTE and stuff like that. They're trying to draw a through line from that, but what happened to him, is less than 1%. It was interesting seeing the reaction spike from people, and they were kind of shook up, but in all honesty, just seemed like a bunch of damn shucking the job into me. Seemed like a bunch
From
of these,
some people. From some
man,
people.
it seemed
you're
like
right.
a lot of them were out there damn talking loud and really ain't saying nothing. You know, especially it was one you said, somebody y'all put it in the group chat. I watched that thing. This motherfucker spent 6 minutes yelling in the mic, pulling up data about how they don't guarantee contracts and pensions. He was talking about Hamlin's pension and shit like that. Shelton's right. It's all a PR move. They don't give a fuck about that guy, man. They give a fuck about what he does to their business. But once he's up and running, they done paid him off. That's hush money. They done paid him off. He can go about his business. Just like somebody said in the chat, they're gonna fold next time. So everybody's sitting up there talking about, sitting up there on ESPN, all these pundits and stuff like that. Man, they're just doing that for show.
I agree with you there. I do think that it was commendable, though. As you were watching it play out, you could tell that it was the players and the coaches from the Bills and the Bengals that were like, "We're not going to play this game." Bro.
Yeah, if you're close to him, like the Bills teammates, I get it.
And
Cincinnati, you're on the field,
Well, not even that.
You could tell that they like. It seemed as if, and even from I know there's a lot of reporting with the Joe Bucks here, they'd be ready in 5 minutes after they warm up or not. It seems as if they were about to try to go on as usual.
They were,
but then the Bills coach was like, "Nah,
they talked to the rest. They was like, "Nah, we need to."
Yeah, they were like, "Nah, we ain't."
But
going out here,
what's crazy is that there are like the Bengals players are close with him, like Higgins, and Hamlin. They trained in the offseason. Like I think Tyler Boyd brought up that story because he was like he didn't like how a lot of people were coming at Higgins for the hit. And they were trying to place the blame on him, and he was like, "I know Higgins is a good dude, and he tries to not, let stuff get to him. But I wanted to be around him around that time because that's some deep shit." But him and like Higgins and Hamlin, they were even playing on swapping jerseys at the end of that game. So it's like that situation happened to them. Like Higgins reached out to the family, like he was trying to do his part. So that stuff is kind of like it was big. I never seen a moment in time like that within this sport where it's like nothing else matters but this dude, at least in the media moment. Now I do agree with Ken and Lou maybe to a certain extent, like there were people definitely trying to use this to build up their platform or to say some shit
the aftermath of it.
To say some shit that they want to get off their chest that has nothing to do with him. But I did like the fact that like it was like
Skip Bayless.
I think that was an overreaction.
Yeah, I think that was overreaction too. You read all those tweets, like it was like he ain't really saying nothing bad.
He did not say anything bad.
He just pointed out. All he did was pointed out the obvious.
Yeah, they kind of
took the people hate him.
Yeah, they took the shit out of context.
It was who it came from.
But I think that I'm hoping that guaranteed, and we're gonna get to a conversation about guaranteed contracts. But the fact that this sport brings in so much money, the fact that people. Like his toy drive went for $2,500 to $8 million, over $8 million.
That's crazy.
Like that shows you the impact football has on not only consumerism, but just it's on people's minds.
But and that's great for this year. But what about the year after, and the year after that, and the year after that? So everybody can come together like in this one moment, to show support and love for this guy, But what about in 2024? When it comes back around, will it be $8 million again, or will it go back to where it was?
Yeah,
it's a lot of this stuff is for show and optics and stuff like that
for the moment.
So it's just for the moment. Yeah,
I have a question for you guys because when the Donald Sterling stuff happened, and there was a question for a slight second on whether the Clippers were going to play, whether Chris Paul was going to do something in protest. The Players Association, the football, always get flack for what we're talking about now as far as probably been the weakest out of the three sports, baseball, basketball. I don't think that if this had happened anywhere else, that they would have been able to take that stand and say, I ain't going back out there like they were able to do in football. Would they have been able to do that in basketball or baseball?
I think basketball is different. I just think the situation is different because it was so extreme. Like a nigga was going to die.
It's Monday Night Football.
It was Monday Night Football.
It was Monday Night Football. It was Monday Night Football, and the nigga was going to die.
That was the biggest thing.
It was Monday Night Football, and the nigga was going to die. Like this is the equivalent to me would have been like.
It ain't no basketball equivalent or baseball. Maybe the World Series, maybe the finals.
No, All-Star. It would have been All-Star game.
Is the one.
Oh, Hank, yeah, my bad.
It would have been an All-Star game. It would have to been like NBA All-Star game.
Oh, of course they stopped that.
Y'all probably don't remember
but that's what I told everybody. I was like, Hank.
I remember Reggie Lewis. I don't remember Hank Gathers. I do remember Reggie Lewis.
Well, Hank Gathers.
They kept playing that game.
Well, I don't think they finished. I think
I know when Reggie Lewis.
No, they did finish that.
Yeah, when Reggie Lewis fell out, they finished that game. Reggie Lewis died.
But it wasn't like
You didn't know what happened.
Now there was no Twitter, there was no social media, there was no Facebook, there was no this, that, and the other. And it wasn't Monday Night Football. Football is like it's the biggest, one of the most watched sports in America. And that's a huge ass game. Everybody tuning in to watch. You know, so all these basketball, especially when that happened, Shelton, like in the early 90s or 80s or something like that.
80s.
You know,
somewhere around that time.
It's just like, it is what it is. But I do think that if that would have happened in basketball and the game was on TV, I do not think they would have went out there.
And basketball players are some punk ass niggas too. So that's when Steph Curry came out, and he probably saved it for his little biopic movie that he about to do about that situation. He was like, damn, my biggest regret was not quitting that game. Nah, nigga, you had all that time to think about it too. There was a whole fucking series that you was in.
You would think that they have the most powers. This is so like there's just 12 people
they
on
want
the team.
that check. They was like, nah, we want this, bruh. Them niggas is like everybody else.
I was wondering about
basketball niggas ain't shit.
They wouldn't have went out there.
Speaking of guaranteed contracts, though, there's a QB right now that's looking around, or at least in my opinion, based off the news that keeps breaking, it's looking around like, well, what the fuck is going on? Why can't I get my bread? Shelton, we talking about black quarterbacks into the draft. Let's talk about black quarterbacks when their contract is up after their rookie deal and it's payday. Because I forgot who said it, but niggas we ain't know outside of Patty. We ain't know when Carson Wentz's contract negotiations started. We just know the deal happened. We ain't know when Josh Allen contract negotiations started. We just know the deal happened. We ain't know when Jared Goff's contract negotiations started. We just know when it happened. With Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, we know when the contract negotiations start. We know how they doing, and we know why niggas ain't budging. And there's a correlation because I guarantee you, Ken, Joe Burrow's contract gonna be signed like a thief in the night. Justin Herbert's contract priority signed. They're just waiting for that playoff winner.
Hell, even Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones may have a contract if they beat Minnesota.
Nah, he got one.
I hope not. That's why I hope they don't beat Minnesota.
That shit in the mail.
The only reason I hate being a Giants fan right now because I need them to lose so we can get this nigga out of here. Because if he win a playoff game, they're gonna give him a contract extension and they're gonna let Saquon walk. I guarantee you that. It's between one of the two.
That's gonna happen.
And I hate the fact, and I want to pay Saquon. It shouldn't be a question.
It
shouldn't be a question, but it is. But Lamar Jackson, the Ravens paid. Breaking news: they paid Roquan Smith, somebody that they traded a second round pick for. In his contract year, they traded a nigga for a second round in his contract year to pay him $100 million for 5 years with how much guaranteed? 60?
Yeah, something like that. Like
45 to
48 to 60.
45 to 60.
Too much guaranteed.
When they have a MVP, as great as Roquan Smith is, he never won an MVP. Has he ever been defensive player of the year? How many Pro Bowls has he been to? Shit, the fact that Chicago's want to let him go.
I forgot he was there.
He been balling though.
They said he been balling.
He's a baller.
But here's the thing, and to Nick's point, and I hate to cut you off, but you don't pay a person in that position that type of money.
In 2023.
In 2023, I'm not paying Bobby Wagner $20 million a year. Yeah, I would have did it 5 years ago, but I'm not giving Roquan Smith that, especially if I'm trying to sign my franchise quarterback.
Right.
Like, ain't no way I'm doing it. That's crazy.
I'm real interested as to how this contract is going to turn out. The only reason I'm thinking about it even more so, and I was like everybody else at the beginning of the year, I thought it was crazy. I thought, let's get Lamar done, let's get it over with. But then watching him now, he's on watch for me. And the only reason is the injury stuff. Every year we're having some issues. Every year is like, this is what, 5 games now?
6, man.
Hold on, what are you trying to say?
Injury
3 to 5.
Dependable.
No, what did you say? You said who's on watch?
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson is on watch.
100%.
Yes.
See, not for the reason you think though.
No, I'm saying, why are you saying Lamar Jackson's on watch?
Because he's injury prone.
I ain't seen him
in 5 weeks. Prone?
Yeah.
Where is he? The most important ability is dependability.
How many games he missed last year?
Availability, nigga.
Dependability. No,
yeah,
availability is the most important. The after that is dependability. Who's more dependable on this team outside Lamar Jackson?
So I'm gonna pay Lamar Jackson for 12 games.
And
if you want to
talk
that's
about,
how you're gonna play.
And maybe
what did you say?
I'm gonna pay him for 12 games a year because that's all they're gonna play.
Okay.
We're gonna prorate your salary.
First of all,
how many games you missed last year?
He missed a few games. I mean, probably 5.
He said a few.
No, I'm saying he missed games. I'm not denying he misses games because of injury. I'm saying what is causing these injuries. He has to do the most out of any QB in the NFL. Lamar Jackson has the hardest job every Sunday. Because he has to be like, not only do I gotta get us a lead, I gotta make sure we keep a lead because these niggas is trash and not healthy. You want to talk about injury prone? Let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens health staff. Let's talk about how J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards and Marcus Peters and all these niggas last year got hurt. But we want to focus on Lamar being hurt, who had that whole squad while hurt 8-3 before he got hurt. And then this year, he got his whole squad. He clinched damn near the playoffs for that squad. Then before he got hurt, to where the backup QB Lamar Jackson Light, Big K Lamar Jackson, he won 2 games to win so they can clinch the playoffs. So basically, they was gonna do that anyway, based on how far Lamar Jackson got him ahead to where they can get a playoff seeding. So y'all want to pay a linebacker before y'all pay that nigga? That's my thing. That's where I call bullshit. That's why I say fuck the Ravens, and they fucking up Ossie Newsom's last gift to that organization before he retired. There's a lot of shit I'm just trying to say, but I'm just saying fuck the Ravens.
But I mean, the Ravens are looking at it from a standpoint of you want Deshaun Watson money. There's only one player ever in the history of the NFL that's gotten that type of money, and you haven't shown us that you are dependable enough to be able to get that type of money.
You're saying this in the same sentence that you bring up Deshaun Watson,
but that's the only precedent.
Deshaun Watson,
that's the only precedent that you have. That's the deal that he wants. And the Ravens are like, nah, that's crazy. The Cleveland Browns are a terrible organization. We're not gonna do that. Can you work with us? And since he doesn't have an agent, he's like, nah, I got a number. I want this number. Can y'all meet this number? And they're like, no, we're not gonna do that. That's insane.
Is he worth that number? Is he worth 200?
Not if he on the sideline for 7 weeks out of the season.
That's all. That's my point. I don't care how he got there.
Is he worth $230 million guaranteed over 5 years?
If I work for the Ravens, no. I'll let you walk because Huntley came in and won 3 games. At the very worst, I'll draft another QB, but I'm not giving you guaranteed money just because Deshaun Watson got it and the Browns are a terrible organization.
They fools.
I'm not doing that.
Ken,
there's no other precedent for it.
Before I respond to this foolishness, Ken, what say you? You the one, the main nigga that said 3 to 5, right? And you was quiet as hell for a good chunk of this season until just now.
I haven't really been saying anything. Shelton brings up a really great point, and I don't think you're being consistent, Nick, with him not being available for that team and being injury prone.
What am I inconsistent on?
The man is, you can't rely on him. When they need him in the stretch, he ain't there.
If I got Lamar Jackson, I should be fighting for the number 1 seed, not going to Cincinnati on the road in the playoffs, making it hard on the rest of my team.
Okay. Let's break this down. Let's break down let's break down the responsibility of Lamar Jackson and whether or not he's matched up to that level. Is what y'all saying.
All right.
So do you know how many games he has won since he started with the Baltimore Ravens?
The games that he's played in.
The games he's played in.
How many games
he wins 75% of his games.
How many
He
games?
was 7-5 last year. He was 8-4 this year before he got hurt.
What do you mean he was 7-5 last year?
He was 7-5. I just looked it up on Pro Football Reference. In the 12 games he played last year, his record was 7-5.
12 games. He missed. He's missed 8 out of the last 20 games.
And here go the horrible thing about that. I can't even talk to you about that during the season because you don't have an agent. I can't tell you this stuff that Ken and Shelton are telling you about your stats last year and how you sucked and how many games you missed because I don't want your psyche down and I don't want you losing games for us out here.
So y'all really think y'all willing to let Lamar Jackson go based off the number that he's asking?
If I'm the Ravens, yes, because nobody else makes this money.
I already told you they weren't gonna pay him.
I agree that the writing was on the wall once they went into this season and he wasn't paid.
Last year, I told y'all
when he went into this season not paid, he's going to have to leave. But you believe that?
But would you pay him that money?
I would pay Lamar Jackson. There's no question.
I've changed
There's
my
no
mind.
fucking question.
I've changed my mind.
What's the alternative? Ken, when we
I'm
talk
gonna
about Mike
draft another
Tomlin, I keep on saying I be hearing these things about Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh. Niggas ain't fucking with him, all this shit. That winning record shit don't matter to these niggas. Of that.
You said the motherfuckers.
Them niggas is only in your phone.
No, listen.
Them niggas that you talking about, they only talking to you.
I sent Ken some articles and he know about that. He see the chirping, but he always say, the Steelers fans know what's real.
Stop.
But my thing is this: we bring up Mike Tomlin, how people be asking for his job sometimes, right? They did it this year.
No,
too.
they did not.
They didn't.
Stop.
They started 2-6. You don't.
He had another winning season.
He did at the end of the season, but when he was 2-6,
you doing
what
to Mike Tomlin what Shelton was talking about a black quarterback.
I'm saying this. I'm bringing up Mike Tomlin. I'm bringing up Mike Tomlin because when they asked for his job, The question should be, who are you going to replace him with? Who is going to go into Pittsburgh and do the job that you think that Mike Tomlin's not going to do? So when you're talking about Lamar Jackson and him missing these games and him not winning these playoff games or him not being available, that's fine. Who are you replacing him with that's not going to only be competitive in the AFC North against Joe Burrow and that Bengals team or against Mike Tomlin, who doesn't have losing seasons? And on top of that, outside of that division, go against Patty Mahomes, Josh Allen, now Justin Herbert, now Trevor Lawrence. Going against these teams, who is going to do as well of a job as Lamar Jackson doing is not better.
Hey, do you think another team is going to give Lamar what he's asking?
Yes.
If he's asking that?
Yes. I think there's about 5 teams that will give Lamar Jackson at least $200 million guaranteed.
You can't find another person to do what Lamar does, but you can find you another quarterback that can win you games.
Like, no.
They got one on the bench.
As productive as Lamar Jackson is,
they don't need him to be that productive.
They just won't be Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
y'all are.
We're not knocking Lamar Jackson. You're absolutely right. He is a generational talent. But when you're talking about giving you a contract that's unprecedented in the NFL and you haven't shown me that you can even play 17 games in a season, not to mention playoff success, why would I do that?
If we're not paying for unprecedented talent, who are we paying for? Who are the Baltimore Ravens saying, I can't give you this money for because I got to give it to Roquan Smith in the back end of his fucking year and his career?
What has, outside of the MVP season, what has Lamar really done?
He's won a playoff game. How many playoff games have they won since Joe Flacco's Super Bowl run? And was Lamar Jackson a part of that team or not?
You expect to win the Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson, you pay him for a 4-year, 5-year contract.
There is no other option. This is a franchise. No, listen, I'm telling you yes. I'm saying yes. If y'all don't know my position on Lamar Jackson by now, I'm surprised. But there is no other option. Again, y'all keep giving me these scenarios of ifs, ands, and buts. When I'm telling you right now, you have a franchise quarterback where all he's asking for, the price keeps going up with franchise QBs. Somebody's going to get paid between Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, and Justin Herbert. Somebody's going to get paid the Deshaun Watson money because all 3 of them niggas about to get paid back to back. So somebody's going to go up over 200, 210, 220. Deshaun Watson's goofy ass and the Cleveland Browns were the first one to do it when no one asked them to do it. But the money is going up. They just sold the NFL Red Zone and all that shit, Sunday Ticket to YouTube, and they getting paid about $4 billion a year over a 10-year span. Some shit, $2 billion a year over 10-year span. Money is going up. They have money.
Why would I pay Lamar for what I've gotten over the last couple of years?
Because you haven't surrounded Lamar with the talent that matches the division. First of all, you haven't surrounded Lamar with the coaching staff.
Can I stop you there?
Huh?
How much they just paid Roquan?
$20 million.
And if they pay Lamar Jackson, where are they gonna get the money to pay anybody else?
And on top of that, you've shown me that you can't do it without the talent.
No.
So now I'm gonna pay you all of this money to continue to do what you've been doing.
What's the best wide receiver Lamar Jackson ever played with?
That's what we're saying.
No, I'm saying.
So why wouldn't they go in another direction?
No. The thing I'm saying is that I agree with Ken. I agree with all y'all. They're not going to pay Lamar, and I'm telling you how egregious that is. That's the whole point of my
egregious though. If he's asking for guaranteed
money, I'm telling you how egregious it is. And 2, you're willing. That's my thing is y'all talking about they paid Roquan, so where the other money going at? They're not paying nobody really else, and anybody else they paying ain't Lamar Jackson. And I'll even say they're not even Roquan Smith in their career. You told me Pat Queen ain't shit, and they used a top 10 pick on him, right? Or he was a first-round pick, nonetheless.
That's what they were saying, not me.
So who are they paying? Marcus Peters? You want to keep paying Marcus Peters? You want to keep playing Marlon Humphreys? You know what I'm saying? You want to keep paying these niggas where their secondary is getting diced up? I saw Joe Mixon Jamar Chase got a bad hit catching balls over these niggas going into the playoffs with what's his name? Huntley as their QB. I don't even think they started Huntley. They had a nigga named Brian Anderson or some goofy ass nigga starting. The Baltimore Ravens ain't shit. They don't know what the fuck they doing.
You're gonna pay Lamar Jackson for one and dones.
Yes.
What other?
Listen,
y'all keep saying this.
Quarterbacks have signed deals.
What quarterback are they drafting? What quarterback are they drafting this year?
I don't even know where they draft pick gonna be.
No, I'm saying if they Lamar is not gonna be this, so they probably gonna try to do a sign and trade.
It ain't about who they drafted quarterback. It's about the money they saved though, because they believe by everything that you're saying. The Ravens believe that they have a system. So if we got to go outside of this system and adjust and make all of these special things for Lamar, then that's going against what we do. We can let him walk and continue to do what we're doing in our system. We can find a quarterback in Huntley that does it. We can start paying these running backs. We can pay receivers. We can pay defensive players. That's their thought process. No other player playing quarterback has been signed for the type of money that Deshaun Watson makes. So you're saying that, oh, well, this person is going to make it, and that person to make it. It ain't proven to be true. No one still has signed for that type of money that he signed for. So Jackson asking for that money is still outrageous to the Ravens.
So because no one has done it before, because there was never been a unanimous MVP before, right? So you know that, and you know who got that, and you know who's the only MVP in Baltimore Ravens history, their franchise history. It's Lamar fucking Jackson.
Bruh,
so y'all want to tell me
Mahomes,
if he can't get paid, nobody should get
paid.
If
Patrick Mahomes come to me and tell me I want Deshaun Watson's contract, I'm signing.
Yeah, I agree. I think
so. If you talk,
I agree with you, Nick, about his importance. He's very important to that team. He is. He can be replaced. I think anybody in the league can be replaced. To be honest with you, I don't think there's nobody, even as great as they are. If they may not be as great as fast, but any of these guys can shift around, and we've seen it happen. We've seen people lose people that are valuable, and the cog just keeps going. You know, Patrick Mahomes doing what he's doing without Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill doing what he's doing without Patrick Mahomes. People can move around.
What Tariq doing? What Tariq doing?
He was second in the league.
Okay. What else? What else is he leading in that receiver?
He led the Dolphins to the playoffs.
Oh, he led the Dolphins to the playoffs.
Did he not?
He led the Dolphins. He led the Dolphins to the playoffs.
There's
they in the playoffs.
Take him off that game.
What did he do in that last game? How many yards he had last game?
Don't give me
How many touchdowns he had?
I'm not giving
I'm
you.
just asking.
Without
he led the league in
just on the chat. No, I'm not giving. I'm not giving the Dolphins no credit because I wanted Pittsburgh in the two.
I don't have it.
But without
it.
You take him off that team, would they be in the playoffs?
They ain't making the playoffs.
They wasn't gonna make the playoffs without him. They counted.
They barely made it.
They made it.
They had a point.
They had to beat the Jets. What was the score? 11-6.
Don't matter, bro.
How
They
you
made
get to
it.
11 points, Shelton?
They made it, bro.
White man's luck.
Tyreek definitely helped.
That's not even a touchdown and a field goal.
Either way, Tyreek did help them get some stops. Put some lot of wins on the front end.
He
upgraded their offense.
Put a lot of bullshit in that sentence.
Lamar do too.
He upgraded their offense.
Lamar's front runners. I mean, and that's the biggest thing with Lamar for me, man, is I want to see him, give me 15 games. 15 games consistently.
So MVP that don't matter.
No,
MVP doesn't matter.
Playoff appearances and playoff wins don't matter.
Aaron Rodgers got MVPs. Congratulations.
MVP last year. It don't matter now.
The MVP only matters to Lamar.
It
doesn't matter to them people in the writing them checks. Bro.
Yeah, because think about it. They're saying they want him out of Green Bay right now. He's MVP last year.
Last year, asking him to retire, bro.
Last year,
he won an MVP last year. They wanted to retire.
And what did they do when how did Green Bay take their stand on Aaron Rodgers?
And look at their team.
No, I'm saying
look at their team.
No, listen.
They gave him $60 million, and look at their team.
But what did they do when Aaron Rodgers put his foot down? They gave him more money.
Yeah, they did. And like I said,
that's what I'm saying. We don't have to worry about those niggas.
We wouldn't even be having a Super Bowl
to the detriment of their team. The Ravens aren't run like the Packers. The Packers got a community organization.
Okay, and we do need to move on. I'll read these super chats related to this topic. But what I will say is you have to look at how the organization has treated Lamar since he got there. Lamar has done everything by himself. They have never surrounded this guy by talent. They don't give a fuck about Lamar. They never have. That's why they never invested in him. They were mad he was being as successful as he is.
They were.
So this is the opportunity for them to get out of that. Drink more water. If Lamar isn't a Raven, what team would want him?
The Raiders. The
There's
Raiders.
Outside about 6 teams.
I think the Dolphins.
Miami has to be. And I doubt
they
they'll trade with anybody in the conference, especially the Dolphins.
I think the Raiders would be fired.
They ain't got no money.
I think Tom Brady gonna
Jacob.
because you got to think about a team that can pay him.
The Raiders are an irresponsible organization.
They don't have no money.
They
got
money
even fire their head coach.
You're right. Yeah. But I think the Raiders would be a dope pick. I think it go with the image.
I think Tom Brady gonna go there.
He would ruin Devontae Adams.
The only thing I could the Bucks. If Lamar went to the Bucks, I think the Bucks would be a good spot for him.
He could go there.
That would be actually worse than Baltimore.
How is that?
What he working with?
That'd be better because he got Mike Evans and he got
Mike Evans.
Godwin.
Mike Evans
is hurt every year?
No,
that same Mike Evans.
Mike Evans who has 1,000 yards consistently for 9 straight years. One of the only few players in NFL history to do that. Mike Evans who won the Super Bowl. Mike Evans who what are you talking about?
At least he got 2 on that.
Godwin. And who else? Godwin.
Chris Godwin. Yes.
If he can stay healthy.
What do the Ravens got? That's keeping Lamar there.
The same thing.
No, they
Like,
don't.
No,
Stop playing,
yeah.
bro.
They ain't got the same thing.
We got to move
Who
on.
else?
We got to move on.
Who else? You got
that's
anybody
it.
else?
I got Miami. I got Tampa Bay. I have
You go to
shit.
Carolina.
I say Detroit. Detroit, if they had
Nah,
Lamar
they
Jackson,
rolling with
Golf,
golf.
they got.
Golf can
Yeah,
get
he
his
can't
ass
go
out.
to no.
You telling me you'll keep Jared
They,
Goff
they
over?
gonna retire
man,
golf
yes,
jersey.
You
They gonna
keep-
retire
you
golf
keep
jersey in
golf.
Detroit.
They love golf.
I'm
bro.
done. I'm done.
Man,
I'm done.
29
What's the,
7.
what, I got another question if you ain't got a super chat.
He the guy.
Eric Jones, Lamar's health, a bit wild play. He's being smart. Eric Jones, he has no contract. Y'all tripping on not playing. And Jordan Ulam, Nick killed y'all on Lamar topic, Nets topic.
Nah, I think they're not playing stuff.
Yeah, if you're
Like,
not
bro,
playing
you
because
trying
you
to
ain't got
win
no
a Super
contract,
Bowl,
then
bro. What are you talking
You
about?
think, you think this Ravens team gonna win a Super Bowl with this roster?
If I'm Lamar Jackson, I can't sit on the sideline when my team is in the playoffs because
What
I'm
do you
waiting
say-
on a contract,
So
bro.
you play this game to play the game or to make money?
they can win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
You know why? Because
If
with
that's
this-
the case,
with-
then I
hey,
really don't want you
Nick.
as my quarterback. Then I'm gonna play $50 million.
Nick, this
If you like,
roster
oh, well, I ain't
beat
playing.
the
I ain't got no
Bengals.
contract. Hell no.
They beat the Bengals. The Bengals can win the Super Bowl, right?
Who?
This roster.
So this roster beat the Bengals. Are you picking them to beat the Bengals this weekend?
Nah, because they ain't the
Okay,
same.
so then
It's
what are
not
you
the same.
again? What are y'all
They-
talking
but that-
about?
but it's
though?
not the
Not saying
same.
that shit.
If
If
sitting,
he was
bro,
playing-
you wouldn't want him as your quarterback if he was sitting on the sideline like, well, I ain't got no contract, and I don't think we can
You're
win a Super
right
Bowl.
because I
I'm
wouldn't
not
put him-
paying
I
nobody
wouldn't put him
$50
in that
million to
situation
think like
because
that.
he's
dude.
done enough for me to pay him. But we got to move on. Another speaking of niggas who shouldn't have got paid. Was it a surprise to you, Lou, when you found out that Cliff Kingsbury and the GM of the Arizona Cardinals got fired less than 12 months after signing contract extensions?
Nah, this is about a situation where the owner was like on vacation for a year and didn't realize that they had signed him to an extension, and just like y'all something like fire everybody after he seen the ship was sinking. But yeah, Cliff Kingsbury didn't even deserve the job in Arizona. He had that hot stretch where they won 8 games. I think Kyler Murray was a blessing to his career, actually, and Kyler Murray probably will flourish under the next real coach that they get. So no, I wasn't surprised at all.
Not at all. And like you said, he shouldn't have been in the first place. Got fired from Texas Tech. I forgot he got fired. I when he got the job, you talk about white man's
That's why
luck.
I was hot when he got the job.
He
I
got
was
hired
too.
as an
I
OC.
forgot
I
about
thought
that.
we all came on here like, bro, this nigga can't even do his own job in college.
I mean,
Texas
I knew
Tech-
he was bad at
With
Texas
Patty.
Tech, but I forgot he got fired.
He
But
had Patty, and then he had who else he had? He had Patty and somebody else, and he couldn't do shit
Yeah.
with either one of them.
Yeah, Patty, Baker Mayfield, and
Yeah,
I believe I can't remember. who
you
else.
talk about white man's luck. That was the greatest luck in the world.
man, I would love to get paid millions of dollars staying Phoenix, Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
and
Hey,
you saw that
Coach-
house. You saw that
Coach
house. he was
Kyler
in
Murray
Yeah.
for a year.
And he kept that job for a nice
for
little
like
bit of time.
for
Kyler Murray saved
What I
him.
really feel bad about is his assistants, Jefferson, and I'm sure they'll get other jobs.
the
but
black
yeah,
assistants.
all the black assistants he had.
That's the only reason why I gave a fuck about Dan Campbell and his shit,
Mhm.
because he got black assistants. Even though he threw one of his black assistants under the bus
Yeah.
when they was losing games and shit. Niggas forget about that, but they want
Ross.
to post shit about Dan Campbell now, man. Fuck that nigga. But
But he's still coached though. Ross
Yeah.
still coached
who?
Ross.
And,
that's who we threw under the bus, right? Ross,
Nah,
defensive coordinator.
It was. I thought it was one of the offense or defense
Oh,
coordinators.
Staley?
Somebody.
I think it was defense.
Oh.
It was defense.
I thought it was Ross.
Yeah.
It was
Aaron
him.
Ross.
It was defense.
Yeah.
Because the defense was
They
playing
was
horrible.
last in
Offense
the
was
league. That's what they were
balling.
saying about him all season. They were last in the league, and he
But
Got
Dan
it
Campbell's a
together.
defensive coordinator, right? He's a
Yeah,
defensive
defensive.
minded head
Yeah,
coach.
yeah.
Nah,
he was a tight end.
Yeah, he was a tight end.
But I don't remember if he coached defense or offense.
he was a tight ends coach his start, like his origins
Yeah.
on offense. Yeah.
But yeah, man, they made JJ Watt retire, man. That's crazy. And he had 10.5 sacks.
12 for the Cardinals.
He did?
Yeah, he had 12. The highest sack total for a retiring player ever.
I didn't know he had 12. I thought, but he was up
He had a
there.
great season.
Were you surprised?
Yeah, but yeah, Kingsbury's turn.
Were you surprised, Ken? Or
Um,
what did you take away from that?
Well, really, I think the big thing for me is I'm just watching at what point do they make a move with all this hiring and firing coaches. I think that article that you shared, right?
Mhm.
That's sticking with me. So am I surprised? Somewhat, after that article got sent out. But I think that whatever they do and however they're going to do it may be coming down the line, and maybe they're just jumping in front of it and trying to
I
get
think
them out of the way.
I think there probably is down the pipeline. The rule gotta be like you gotta at least give a coach 2 years. Like somehow, some way, like if he signs a 4-year deal, he's 2 years because you can't, like what the Texans are doing, you can't do that. Like you shouldn't be able to do that year after year, fire coach, especially a black head coach.
Yeah, he was.
And that's why I fuck with Lovey Smith, because he was like, fuck y'all. he knew he was about to get fired. He was like, I'm gonna win y'all this game, so I lose the first.
That was
overall pick.
egregious,
It was
though.
beautiful.
That was a beautiful thing he
It
did.
was beautiful.
But that's why he got
Because
fired.
like if I'm gonna take all these, because the thing is, these head coaches when they get fired, they take all the losing and losses with their records.
Yeah.
So when people look up these records for these head coaches, they gonna say shit about them. That's why it's surprising that Todd Bowles got a job, but he only got that because the white man said, "Well, shit, I'm about to leave, so I'll let him do it."
He right there. He was.
And
He
right
was.
there, and
He was
with us
standing
for the
next
Super
to
Bowl
him.
run, so it ain't like he got experience. And now he got them in the playoffs, and he possibly could get an upset.
He ain't get him in the playoffs.
They bagged. They were in the playoffs.
He the head coach, so he got him in the playoffs.
Bruh.
That's a head coach.
But
got him in the playoffs.
that Lovey Smith thing upset me a lot though. But I knew he was a lame duck coach. We all did. He wouldn't sit there to win. That team couldn't win. The team was horrible. It was gutted.
Which is why I was like, why do you fire him after 1 year?
Yeah.
Why he
I
taking
mean, they did it
job?
last year.
And my thing is,
With Cully.
my problem with that is he had them competing. They were competing every week.
They were playing hard.
Yeah, they tied the Colts. They could have beat the Colts, but they ended up tying the Colts team at the time that was much better than we thought. But they ended up not being that great. But we thought that the disparity in that was going to be ridiculous. I watched that game rooting for Lovey Smith because I knew he was a lame duck. He was in all those games. He
almost
hung
beat
in there with Philly.
Kansas City.
He almost beat Kansas City. He
Almost
hung in
beat
there.
Dallas.
But that's why he got fired, y'all. Like they wanted him to lose these games. The
had
initiative
to
was
be it.
lose these games. They wanted the number one pick. That's more valuable to the Texans organization than anything Lovey Smith did this year. And to go for 2 and win that game egregiously is why he got fired that night.
I loved it because regardless of who they get at the number 2 pick, they still gonna be a trash ass organization. 5 years down the line, and they're gonna be picking number 1 again or number 2 again.
Yeah, we them boys said, send in the super chat. He said, watch the Texans give a young white man a long-term contract with multiple chances.
And give him years
Because
to
look,
figure it
they're in
out.
the prime position for a white coach, right?
Yeah, they will give him
crazy.
years
That means
to
you
figure
got a top 5 pick, probably all the money that you can spend.
I just hired a black coach, so I ain't got it. Like
Yeah.
I ain't gonna look.
I
I
hired
just
two of
hired a
them.
black
I hired
coach.
2 of them.
But you're
Yeah.
still racist because you didn't give him a real chance.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you
And
just
then you
check the
look at
box.
Wilkes. Wilkes didn't get a real chance before. He's not
Well,
going to get a
Arizona-
real
yeah.
chance.
That's how
now.
they do it, though, Ken. You're right. They just check the box.
Van Joseph in
Which is
Denver.
why I'm saying the NFL has to. The new Rooney Rule should be like if you hire a head coach, he got to stay there for 2 years.
I think the answer to that Rooney Rule is the pipeline thing. Like they need to start.
Nah,
Like when they were talking about how black coaches aren't. I can't go and take a film job making $20,000 a year because I don't come from an affluent family. My dad can't take care of my family for a year. Not a lot of black coaches are in the position to be able to do that, where white coaches who come from more affluent
That's
families
bullshit,
are able
bro.
to do it. That is not bullshit.
It is because
That would make it so more black people are in line to do that. Like
Because-
there's no pipeline for it now.
because white people will do the okie doke like they did this season and get a nigga who was on TV who don't have no coaching experience to say, go ahead, coach my team. So you can tell me about the pipeline shit because that does make sense. But when they do goofy shit like that, it erases all respectability when it comes to their decision making. So
White-
if you're able
I mean,
to
that's
do
gonna
that,
happen.
then that means you could do anything you want to, and that means you're choosing not to do the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, ain't no defense against that though.
Speaking of defenses, they calling for it in the chat. I'm out here yelling about black quarterbacks, so I gotta yell about this one. Or I'm trying to. It's getting late in the night, so I'm trying to. The Dallas Cowboys, Lou.
I got a question for you.
I knew you did, nigga.
I was trying to delay this as long as possible.
I
man.
was too.
I was trying to
'Cause it's
extend every topic.
The last 2 questions I don't want to talk about, but
I
I
was
gotta
trying to
talk
I
about.
wonder why we was
extend
looking at
every
this.
topic.
Wrote in the chat. Spike confidence
Yes.
level in Dak Mayfield versus Tampa. So I don't know if that's Nick's question, but yeah, that is part of this whole topic.
After that game against Washington this past week, my confidence level was at about a 3,
What was it before the game? 6?
about a 7. About a
Damn,
7.
that was high.
You don't give a
Strong
fuck
7.
about that.
That's out of 100, right?
No, I don't give a fuck about Dak. I give a fuck about the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
you always made that clear, though. You don't give a
Facts.
fuck about
That's
that.
out of 100, right?
Out of 10. Shut up. I mean, as a Cowboys fan, I look at it this way and trying to hedge a win-win is if Mike McCarthy loses this game, regardless if it's Dak's fault, if he has a terrible game, if Dallas goes out first round, I do think that we will seriously be in the running
Sean Payton.
for Sean Payton
Get
this
it.
year.
So,
Like, there ain't no way that Mike McCarthy can come back after losing to the 49ers last year and losing to Tom Brady and a terrible Bucs team this year. It would be all on his back. I wouldn't think that you need to get rid of Dak. I don't think that anything else would be wrong if we lose this playoff game other
The
than
head coach.
getting rid of the
Is
head
that
coach.
being reported?
Yeah.
Sean
Well,
Payton?
my question leads to that because my question was how far do the Cowboys need to get this postseason for Mike McCarthy to stay out of the hot seat?
So if we beat the Bucs, most likely
That's
we will
divisional
play
round.
the Eagles.
Let me pull up the thing. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
if we beat the Bucs, we're 5 seed. The Eagles are gonna play the lowest seed. So most likely we would play the Eagles unless the Giants win.
I think the Giants are going to win. I think the Giants are going to win, and that's why I think the Giants will play the Eagles and the Cowboys will play the
49ers.
The 49ers, because I think the Seahawks play the 49ers. Even though the
Okay,
Seahawks-
so regardless, if we play the Eagles or the 49ers, that has to be a close game for Mike McCarthy to be in serious consideration to keep his job. Because last year, 49ers embarrassed the
As a
Cowboys.
wild card team.
Embarrassed. Like it looked like that we weren't even ready to play at all. So when you're talking about a confidence level and Mike McCarthy saying going into the game against Washington that we're going to take this game serious and I'm going to have my guys ready, and they came out and they looked like that, speaks to the culture that I've been talking about all season that he's had with all the penalties, all the people really lackadaisical, not giving a fuck. So he has to essentially coach his ass off in these playoffs to keep this game. And my confidence in him coaching his ass off as a Cowboys fan is a 3.
What's your confidence in Sean Payton wanting to coach a Cowboys team?
That's a good question. I'm not sure that he would want to take that situation because you got Dak. I don't know how good he think Dak is. I don't know if Dan Quinn's going to be there, and that's supposedly the strength with your defense. So if I'm Sean Payton, if I can't, like Bill Parcells said, shop for the groceries, or that famous line that he said where Jerry Jones ain't the only person making decisions up front, if I'm Sean Payton, I wouldn't take that job. I
And
won't
does
be real with you.
Jerry have a history of firing coaches like that?
No, he holds on to him.
So-
Wade Phillips, Jason Garrett.
but he don't keep coaches that arguably could be bigger than him.
So that's why you think he would keep McCarthy? Or do you think he wouldn't hire Sean Payton?
I don't think he will hire. I think he would fire McCarthy. I just don't think he will hire Sean Payton. I don't think
he
Sean
would
Payton.
fire
Will, I don't
McCarthy,
think.
bro.
I don't think Sean Payton will want to be there, because it's like my thing is
He doesn't.
If Sean Payton, though, they're talking about Sean Payton like he is like Jesus for
And-
whatever team that
and
he
that
would
Thank
take
you,
you.
Nick. How
And
about
I'm like,
that?
bruh, this nigga barely won with Drew Brees after that Super Bowl. They missed the playoffs a few times. Niggas
Went to
don't
the
bring that
playoffs
up.
and would just lose.
And then the way Drew Brees went out, literally got his chest caved in. So that's why he went out and you lost to the Vikings in a playoff game.
Yeah.
So like my thing is like, if they're hyping him up because they're wanting to say like, all right, Sean Payton with a young QB on a good roster can probably do wonders. That's fine. And the Cowboys somewhat fit that, but the owner won't let him shine, bro. I don't think the owner will let him do the things that he would want to do. So that because the owner didn't want Jimmy Johnson doing those things or Bill Parcells, and those two coaches are way better than this nigga, and they did way more than this nigga. So,
But he's a lot older now. So the only concession that I would say to that is that Jerry Jones has to realize that he's pushing 100, and this has to happen sooner rather than later. So if Sean Payton is the best candidate and Jerry Jones does realize that this has to happen sooner rather than later, and he's like, okay, well, I will give this a shot, because the last time I gave this a shot, it was Jimmy Johnson, and we won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. And if Sean Payton has the type of personality where he's like, the risk versus reward, me winning a Super Bowl in Dallas is going to push my profile way past it would be anywhere else. And that's just the fact of the matter. So all of that would have to line up, and I'm not sure if it does. So confidence levels of 3.
what about you? What did y'all reaction to the Cowboys game?
It's just a microcosm of what we already thought. Mike McCarthy, we don't have a lot of confidence in him. The team wasn't prepared for a game, and they didn't really. I don't think they even knew if they were going to play or not. Like they didn't know who was going to play.
He said they was going to be prepared for. He went out of his way and said that. He did
It's
that.
because they was watching the Philly Giants game. If the Philly Giants game was close or whatever, I think they would have played a little bit different. Because I went back to see, like, was it the same time they played? And it was. It was both 4 o'clock afternoon.
But that's what I'm saying. They shouldn't even been watching it. Like if you saw Detroit players, they didn't care nothing about what was going on with that game. They didn't care. They didn't want to know scores. They didn't want to know nothing.
They did know. You're right. However, they did know. And what I'm speaking to about culture that Dan Campbell has implemented in Detroit.
Don't do that.
It didn't matter.
Don't do that.
Because the question was, it don't matter if we win or lose this game if we're going to the playoffs. if we don't go to the playoffs, we keeping Green Bay out. That was the mindset.
And we gotta
That's
win
a
a record.
culture thing.
And we got to win.
They went out there and they played versus Dallas, not doing the same thing for McCarthy. Dan Campbell got a culture.
Don't
You can
do
say
that.
don't do that,
Don't do that.
but they won 8. They went with 8-2. They last 10 games. Come on, that's culture. They ain't the talented roster in the league. The
They
most
play hard.
talented.
They play
have a
hard
good
for
They got
sure.
Jared Goff at
They have
quarterback,
one of
bro.
the best offensive lines in the league, if not top 5. They have a running back that scored 17 touchdowns, broke Barry Sanders' record. They have
Sure.
good
My
quarterback.
point is that Dan Campbell is a lot more affluent in pushing his culture than somebody like Mike McCarthy, who struggled with it since he's been in Green Bay.
Well, Mike McCarthy had never had culture. My thing is
He won a
this.
Super Bowl with his culture in Green Bay.
Aaron Rodgers won that Super Bowl. Chill out. My thing is with the Cowboys is they didn't really have anything to play for that game because the
Not
Eagles.
true.
The
That's
Eagles,
not true, Nick.
I'm saying this because the Eagles, all they had to do was win one game of the last 3 or 4, and they got the number 1 seed, and that's the only reason why the Cowboys would even play that game. If I was McCarthy, I'd have rested the starters,
I would have too.
or at least by the second half, even because you saw the game where it was going on. I'd be like, all right, let's just get the fuck up out of here. If we lose, then at least we can blame it on the backups. The fact that they had Dak play the whole game in that way, and I'm only saying it because of the mojo. Like losing, going like the way the Chargers lost to the Broncos, I don't really have that much confidence going into the playoffs. The way the way the Bucks lost to the Falcons, even though they took out Brady, that team doesn't look confident going into the playoffs. There was a lot of teams that lost who are playoff teams going into the playoffs, and I was just like, I don't want to know how much confidence that puts the Ravens. You talk about they're good without Lamar, they're a playoff team, but they got their ass busted, giving up 4 turnovers to the Bengals, and they have to play them again in the same building with or without Lamar.
Mhm.
So it's just like, I don't think it was a good boost for confidence in the Cowboys, but I don't think this game was a wash. It was a divisional game. Whatever happens.
No.
happens.
A losing culture is we're going to go into this game. We're going to see what everybody else does, and maybe we have a chance to play for the first taste in the division. That's a losing culture. A winning culture is we're going to win this game and do everything that we need to do to win the division. It don't matter what the Eagles do. It don't matter what the Giants do. We're going to go into this game to win it. They didn't go into it. They went to the game like, we're going to look at the scoreboard. Maybe I'll pull you out in the second quarter. Maybe Dak will play 1 quarter. That's Mike McCarthy's fault.
Winning culture means that you have to win a lot of games, right? That's what winning culture means.
It's culture. It starts with culture.
When is it going to be Dak's fault?
It's partly
Dak had a bad game.
He's definitely below average since he's been back.
2 pick six
Back to back.
Yeah, that was a bad game from that. That was a horrible game from
8
that.
interceptions in 5 games.
I'm glad he got paid.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm glad
but
he got paid too.
there's all the high interceptions. That's every quarterback in the playoffs, though.
Yeah,
they
that's what I'm
showed a
saying.
stat for that.
Yeah, the
Josh
interceptions-
Allen, Kirk Cousins, everybody that has high interception ratios is in the playoffs.
That's
all
what I
of
was telling y'all.
Top 6
interceptions is-
quarterbacks.
We're in a passing league.
Patty Mahomes, all of them.
We're in a passing league. Everybody throws picks.
That was a
Now,
good
my
stat
thing
that they
is,
pulled.
not everybody throws pick sixes. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody
Yeah,
does
I
what
mean,
Yeah,
Dak is
everybody
doing.
don't make bad
Yeah.
decisions
Yeah,
like
not
Dak
everybody
has
doing
been
what Dak
making.
is
That's,
doing.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
his
that's-
is bad decisions.
That's the concerning part. That's the thing. That's like
And-
that's the
and-
last
and-
thing he's thinking
everybody
about.
ain't
That's
through
part
8
of what
in
I'm
5
talking
games.
about with McCarthy. Like, Dak doesn't even show remorse when he makes a bad decision. He threw a damn near pick 6 to do. The guy dropped it, fell, and he came back the very next play and threw the pick 6 that he didn't throw
That's
the play
coaching.
before.
That's coaching.
That is coaching.
That's
That's Mike
coaching.
McCarthy. That's not holding people accountable. I've been saying that since week 8,
But you could have watched Hard Knocks and seen that Mike McCarthy wasn't
2
gonna
years
hold-
ago.
Nobody was going.
2 years ago.
But to me, the Cowboys have to, and I'll say this right now because I'll keep on saying I'm a Dak supporter or whatever. If the Cowboys / Dak do not get to the NFC title game, I'm off.
That's fair.
I'm
That's fair.
done. There, y'all can slander Dak all y'all want to. He would deserve it. This is their best and last opportunity. I can see them getting to the Super Bowl out of all the last 20 some years since Lou was knee high to a grasshopper.
I was outside.
He was outside. Yeah. This is their best opportunity. The toughest QBs they have to face, Shelton, is Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy.
I was gonna tell. That was my next point. You brought up the best thing as far as the NFC for this year. Going into this playoffs, who's the best quarterback in the NFC?
outside of Brady.
Now you can count Brady.
I'm just saying Brady's going. People going
Yeah, you
grandfather
can,
in.
yeah, extra career grandfather
Yeah.
shit out. But this year, we talking about Hurts. Are you scared of him?
No.
Why you saying that?
Cousins?
Are you saying that because he's hurt?
I'm just saying that in general.
Oh, in general?
Yeah.
Based off last year's playoff.
So
Like,
y'all didn't watch the games this
and
year.
again, I'm not knocking Hurts.
Hey, Sheldon.
He's had a great season, of course. I'm saying, though, versus all the other quarterbacks in the AFC and what you usually face in the playoffs, Jalen Hurts really.
We ain't got to do all that because Sheldon
knows.
likes to bring up history and shit too. He brought up with Lamar and talking about his winning and his
Last year's
his
playoff.
injury record. He said he's injury prone, but he don't want to bring up Jalen Hurts and that horrible playoff game that we've seen, which is the only playoff game he's ever made.
So I'm saying
back their way into the
he played
playoffs.
that bad?
No, but yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
And with that
How
being
many
said,
did you see the score? Yeah, oh yeah.
he
Go ahead.
embarrassed himself out there.
He don't even
And-
like-
yeah, he did.
He look
And with
like he
that being
belong.
said, if I'm Dak, this is my best opportunity probably that I'll ever have to go to the Super Bowl where I ain't got a Tom Brady, a Aaron Rodgers, a Drew Brees, somebody on the other side that's head and shoulders better than I am. He got to take advantage of this.
He has to.
with the stacked roster. This is
Well, I don't know
well,
about
I'm
that.
saying stacked
We ain't
roster
got
as
no
far as like
receivers.
this is their best roster to get to the Super Bowl.
Yes,
like
facts.
since because the last roster like this was back when he was a rookie, 2016, when they
Yes.
had one
When
of the
they
best
went-
offensive
yeah,
lines,
when the catch year.
but they didn't because
The year
Rodgers
before-
was
after
balling.
that, yeah.
So this is their best chance.
Yeah, that's
I'm
a
not
fact.
scared of Jalen
That's a
Hurts.
fact.
I'm not scared of Brock Purdy. I'm not scared of
You better be scared of Brock
Kirk
Purdy.
Cousins.
All right.
We looking at Brock Purdy potentially going 10-0 and winning.
bruh. He
Purdy-
went toe to toe with Stinson, with Stidham.
Purdy, and he
I
won,
ain't scared
didn't
of
he?
shit.
And he won, didn't he?
He barely. Did he? Barely. Hey, kid, if I told you going into that game, the 49ers are playing Jarrett Stidham, you thinking like, oh, this shit. And I told you that the 49ers are going to throw 35 points. You don't think it's a blowout, right? And then I'll do the blind reveal and I show you that the Raiders, Devontae Adams got over 1,500 yards and over 12 touchdowns with a QB between Derek Carr and Stidham. So I'm only saying that because
All right.
we're in a passing league. QBs matter.
Purdy, that guy, bro.
Purdy solid.
QBs matter. If you got a guy that can throw the ball, you got a chance.
Mhm.
And when you're telling me Jalen Hurts, who's a running quarterback, the best thing the Eagles do is run the ball. So if they're, I'm just saying the best thing they do. I didn't say he can't throw. I'm saying the best thing they do is run the ball. He's a running quarterback. And two, Brock Purdy, they're a running team. Their offense rolls to the run game. They're not known for throwing. Jalen Hurts ain't gonna throw for 300 yards. When he throw for 300
Do you
yards,
want that throwing?
I would say, what is
I
their
do.
weakness?
I do.
Dak throwing the ball.
I between those QBs, I'd rather have Dak throwing.
But we
Even though
talking-
I do agree, the
Yeah.
Cowboys are best when they run the ball, but they're
Yeah,
dynamic.
I was
They
gonna say
can
you
do
want
both.
you
They
want to
can
run the ball because he's proven when he throws, he does turn the ball over. We talk about turnovers are equal to the other quarterbacks, but Dak, once again, we keep forgetting he missed 5 games.
They couldn't run the ball this week. He went 19.
How many games? Jalen
19 for
Hurts missed?
37.
How many games Jalen Hurts?
It
missed?
wasn't even
2.
200 yards past.
He only missed 2 games.
Yeah.
He only missed 2 games all season.
Mhm.
Okay,
Who?
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I think it was more than that, but
No,
I
it was
gotta-
2. He missed 2.
It was 2.
The 2 they lost.
The 2
Other
they
than the one who, he lost
Before
one.
this week, the 2
But
before
he
this
wasn't
week.
in the Cowboys game. He wasn't in the
It was 2.
New Orleans game.
That's
but
it.
He
That was
played
it.
the Giants game.
Yeah, that's it.
The last 2 weeks.
Oh, because he had to play because if they lost that to the Giants, which-
right.
what was the score again, Sheldon? It was close. It was
close.
it was under 7 points, right?
Oh, you talking about the last game?
This last game of the
Oh
season.
man,
The game that he had to win.
How many touchdowns did he have that game?
None.
How many interceptions did he have?
1.
Oh, okay. How many yards did he throw for?
None. He was 200.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
need-
okay.
Oh, you want to know what happened that
So you-
game? Because I watched the game.
He
I
need-
watched
You
it.
wanna know?
I'm a Giants fan. Of course, I
And
watched.
did
the
you
game.
see what you saw what they said about him?
What they say?
They said he was in pain the whole game. All they did was run the ball. They really didn't do nothing but run the ball. They was trying not to lose. They
Are you
they weren't
confident with
playing
Jalen
Is
Hurts?
he going to be okay
My-
in 2 weeks?
That's what I was saying. Now, when you said about fearing him, that's what I thought you were talking about. I said it depends on his health. Now, if he's healthy, I ain't scared of nobody. But if he's not healthy,
Can you hear that?
100%.
You think
How
the
could
Eagles
you be?
head-
The
and
number one
shoulders.
seed in the NFC,
Uh-huh.
he's scared full.
I'm not scared of him choking. That's not my fear for him. My fear is not him choking and not showing up. Those other guys, I fear that for Dak. I fear that for Purdy. I feel them showing up.
He fears he's not.
Cousins.
You don't have to worry about Purdy, bro.
He fears he's not 100% because we know based off of NFL and the game that a lot of people are healthy by the time the postseason starts.
Oh, I hope so.
I
I hope so.
I get you. on
I
that.
hope so.
get you
Now,
on
if
that.
he healthy, then that's cool. Once
Ain't
again,
nobody
we
healthy,
already know.
Sheldon.
Nah, that's
Ain't
a little-
nobody
that's a
going
little-
into this postseason healthy. Name me a team that's healthy.
I hope we're not going to use that if he loses.
They
Nick.
gonna use. He gonna use
I
it.
hope
He
not.
I'm
bringing
not
it up right
going to use.
now.
I'm not going to use it unless it applies. Now, y'all, if the man is the man.
If he plays, he good. That's how we look at it.
Oh, okay, well, I'm
It's the
okay.
playoffs.
Okay, well, fine.
It's the
I'm with
playoffs,
that.
right?
I'm with that.
Okay.
I'm with that.
If he
I
plays,
agree
he
with
good.
that.
All right.
I agree with that.
All right.
I'll agree with that.
Did you hear what he,
I'll
did you
agree
hear
with
what he
that.
just said, bro?
No, I agree with that.
I'm not gonna use it unless it
No,
applies.
I just took it back.
What
I
the
took it
fuck
back.
is that supposed to mean?
That means we already know he's hurt. But once again, I did take it back. I
Yeah,
said
he
you're
did.
right.
Take
He
it
said it right
If
because
he
I was saying
plays-
the same thing. If he plays, that's it. Same thing with
Yeah,
Lamar.
because you was already
If
making
Lamar
excuses.
plays-
He's talking about
No, 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 I was-
Did
I
you hear
was-
the game call? They said he
Man.
was hurt when he threw for under 250 yards and had a no tuds and a pick in the red
Yeah.
zone. Get the fuck out of here.
Man,
These niggas
did
can
you-
get
like I
diced
said-
up like anybody else. And Dak already proved you can dice up the
So
Eagles
if your
defense.
throwing shoulders out, then you're supposed to just be the same.
If your throwing shows out,
He-
what,
he done
what
been
does that
playing
mean?
great all
Did he have
year.
to play that game? Sheldon?
Yeah, he had to play.
He had to play?
Yes,
The Eagles would have been out the playoffs if he didn't play that game.
they would
They
have
wouldn't have been the
no.
one
The Eagles
seed.
wouldn't have been a top
They wouldn't have been the
seed.
number
They
one
would've been
seed.
a five.
Number
seed.
one, no,
No,
get
they
it
would've
right.
been a
Number
five
one
seed.
seed
No, I'm
because
saying,
of him.
I'm saying the Eagles would not have been a top 3 seed.
They
if
would have
he
been the
didn't play
number
They would've
one
been
seed
five.
because of him.
So,
They would've been
so you're
five if
telling
they
me that
lost.
And they'd have been 5, and he'd have been playing the first
They
week.
lost, they would have been a 5 seed.
how would they
Yes.
lose to 5 if the Cowboys got blown out?
49ers would have been
No,
one
I'm saying how did they lost to the
because 49ers would have been one.
if both teams
If
lost,
the Eagles lost, then the 49ers would have been the one seed.
the one that was, so you're agreeing that they would have been the top 2 seed regardless of that game.
Who
The
the
Eagles.
Yeah.
Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So regardless of the game, there's gonna be
It
one
doesn't
or two
matter. They
seeds.
wouldn't be the number
So they
one
weren't
seed.
really playing for anything.
Yeah,
except
they
Bye
would have
week,
been
a
playing.
bye
They
week.
played for
Bye
the bye
week.
week.
for a
Bye
bye
week.
week.
Yes,
So he
that's
played-
important.
So you're telling me a QB who was already hurt
Yes.
came back to play a game to
Yes.
still be hurt
Yes.
and then
So he
to
could
win
get
that
another
game
rest
to
week.
be
To get an extra
get an
week
extra
against
week
the
of
extra
rest.
worse. Yeah, and they ran the ball
so
effectively.
they're gonna make him
That's
more.
what they were
That's
doing.
gonna make a hurt QB more rusty because he already played rusty in that
No,
game.
he gonna be
Because
cool.
we looked at his stats and it showed that he was
He gonna be
shitball.
cool. I'm not gonna make no. You can't say that, man.
He wasn't shitball that game.
No,
Who had a worse game, Dak or Jalen Hurts? This
Dak
last,
or Jalen
this
Hurts?
last game.
Jalen Hurts because Dak lost. Dak lost.
He threw 2 picks.
Lost.
14 for 37.
Wasn't even close. He was embarrassing. So it was
14 for
Dak.
37 is
It ain't even. That ain't even.
So you're
That ain't
saying-
even a
okay,
comparison.
So a QB who threw.
That's
Did
Baker
you watch that game?
14 for 37 is Baker Mayfield. No.
So a QB that threw 2 picks.
Let me tell you. Let me
and,
tell you what he did, so you can
you-
just
you
see.
said- what-
If you
what
just
was
going by
that
stats
14 for
alone,
37,
No,
100
name
and
his stats.
something
I'm
yards.
saying stats.
You want
14 for
stats?
37.
Yeah, say
because
Dak
I'm
Prescott.
talking about what's important is winning the game,
Winning
right?
the game is important. Okay.
Dak was 14 for 37, like 187 yards. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
So that was a horrible game, right?
Yes.
Horrible
So
game.
the only game that could have been that Jalen Hurts played that could have been worse than that was
So
Dak's game,
Jalen
right?
was
Because
20.
outside of that, Jalen Hurts had a horrible game.
No, Jalen was.
So can we agree 2 things can
No,
be true?
no.
Both games,
No,
both
because
QBs
your
had
point
horrible-
went down the drain just now. You said Dak had a better game, right?
No, I didn't.
You
I
just
didn't
did.
say that. I said no. I
You
said
just did.
I said between the
Because
two.
Jalen was
who
20
had-
for
I
35
asked
for
you the question.
229 yards.
I asked you the question between the two.
And
who
I
had-
said it wasn't close.
I said between two who had the worst game. You said Dak.
It
did.
wasn't close.
And I was like, okay, I agree with that. But Jalen Hurts to only say that means that he would have to play worse than Jalen Hurts did, right? And what was Jalen Hurts' stats?
20 for 35 for 229 yards.
And what else? Keep
No
going.
touchdowns and 1 interception.
Okay, so
it was not worse.
So both of them played bad. One played horrible. One played bad, and they're both going into the postseason.
No,
and you have more confidence
I
in-
didn't see it. I didn't see it as a bad performance. I need to look and see what his grade was. It wasn't a bad performance. It wasn't.
All right, let's move on.
He didn't play bad. He got his team in the red zone when they needed to be. They kicked field goals. They didn't get touchdowns, but
It
he
was
did his job.
it was him leveling out. I tell you that. It
I
was
can't
him
even
coming
say that.
down. Yeah, it was leveling out. That's
No,
what you've seen. That's what
acting
you've seen and you're gonna see from here on out. Like it's colder outside. The defenses are getting tighter.
So
like,
you
now
don't
you're
say,
about to see him level
so you
out.
don't
from
say it
that
was
sky-high
nothing to do with
performance.
his throwing shoulder. That had
I
nothing
ain't
to do with
saying
that.
that. This is the time of year though. We talked about injuries, right?
No, I think
Like you got to be able to endure
think
that.
he'll
I'm
be
sure
fine.
Tom Brady had Super Bowl runs where he was hurt.
I think he'll be
I
fine.
seen.
That-
I
that's-
seen. We
that-
talk about T.O. going for 200 yards on a broken leg in the Super Bowl. So I'm just saying, like, in the postseason, you play through injury.
I see what Sheldon is saying, but I agree with Nick. I don't want you to come in here
Because
with
we got players
excuses.
going through.
No,
injury.
no,
about
I'm
he
not.
hurt.
I told you I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that regardless.
All right, let's get into these picks before we. Now we still got a couple things to talk about before we wrap up with the super chats. Since we didn't really finish us out the season, the only overall winner was Shelton with the weekly picks for the regular season.
I'm winning the playoffs.
The official the official list is Shelton at number 1, FIFO number 2. I'm 3, lose 4, and Ken finished 552-52. So if you bet
God
on
damn
if
it.
you bet on
Hey,
Ken's
bro, I'm
games,
telling you, bro.
you're gonna win as much as you lost. But let's get into the playoffs, postseason now. What we all waiting for, wild card weekend. As we talked about, some other teams won't be playing because they got the first round bye, as far as i.e. Kansas City and Philadelphia, but everybody else playing this weekend. First and foremost, we'll start off with the Seahawks versus the 49ers.
That's gonna be a good game.
No,
I think it's gonna be better than we think.
No, it's not.
So you got confidence the 49ers is gonna blow them out?
Gonna win that. I don't think it's gonna blow it out, but I think the 49ers gonna win.
I think they'll win, but like I said, I think it's gonna be closer than we
What's
think.
close
That's
to
gonna be a
you?
good game. I think it's gonna be less than a 1-score game.
Less than 1 score, so less than a touchdown.
Mhm.
I think it's gonna be the 49ers will win at least by 10 points.
I think we put a lot of confidence in Purdy.
I
But
put a
what
lot of confidence. No, they ain't gonna. The Kyle Shanahan way is we don't let our QB do shit. We let everybody else do it,
Mhm.
and that's how we win.
Is Debo playing?
He should be. He played the last season. I mean, last game, I think.
Did he? I don't know why.
I saw him.
I got a lot of confidence in
I got San Fran, but who you got?
Pete Carroll, man. I'm gonna go San Fran, but I think it's gonna be close.
Question for the room. Between Pete Carroll and Brian Daboll, who deserves Coach of the Year?
Brian Daboll.
No question.
He got absolute bums in skilled positions.
Yeah, he did it with
and he
nothing.
in the playoffs.
He did it with nothing.
Bums.
I think Coach of the Year should be Mike Tomlin, though. You ask me.
It ain't gonna be Philly, coach. That's Coach of the Year, right?
Nick Sirianni?
Yeah.
Nah, because
Nah.
he got a fucking Super Bowl roster.
Yeah, he had a squad.
Everybody, we knew they should have been good. If they was shitty, then we would be talking about them.
So we got you. Same thing. applies.
Sheldon, who you got?
San Francisco.
You said all that shit about Seattle, and then you gonna say San Francisco. Ken, who you got?
Purdy, man.
Hey,
Brock.
I thought the only Brock I was gonna acknowledge was from Pokemon, but right, hey, I'm fucking with Brock Purdy like his keys, bro. I got a lot of jokes if he win the game. Up next, Battle of the White Boys. Los Angeles Chargers versus Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's a great white hype bowl, right?
Boy, great white hype.
Hey,
That-
boy, they
bruh,
gonna pump
the
this
NFL
up.
has been salivating for these two.
Where's this game in?
It's in Jacksonville.
What's in Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure is.
Give me Trevor.
Sure is.
Give me Trevor.
Hell.
But while y'all thinking about that, let me ask y'all that. Do we need to acknowledge the job Doug Peterson has done in Jacksonville in his first season?
No.
100%.
You got a good roster. You got a good quarterback. He lucked into that situation. 'Cause Urban Meyer's a dickhead. No, absolutely not.
Tell him, Lou.
No,
Like, nah.
absolutely not.
100%.
Come on.
Man, did you see the thing I said? Everybody was tripping about Christian Kirk. Everybody was talking
because
about
they suck.
Evan Ingram. Yeah, but look.
I will say their GM did a great job because all their free agent acquisitions had career years.
Everybody thought about that. Like I said, Christian Kirk,
Well, offensively.
Zay Jones. They was like, he bringing in trash.
I think that they had a good roster. I think that Doug Peterson.
You think that's a good roster?
Yeah, I think that Doug.
no,
I think
bro,
that
he
Doug
made
Peterson
good.
stumbled upon that. Like Urban Meyer looked at that and thought it was a good roster. He just couldn't keep his pants up. Doug Peterson came in there and he
No,
was like,
sir.
"Oh, look what I got."
Bro,
He
you
couldn't
are
keep
so
his
wrong.
foot out
No,
the kicker's
sir.
ass.
You are so wrong, bro.
No, sir. Everybody quit. Like I
Zay
said, everybody questioned those hires. Everybody, I mean those signings. Everybody did. Like I said, Christian Kirk was what, the third receiver in Arizona. He got that big deal. Everybody was like, "What are they doing?" And it worked out.
I know.
Coaching.
I remember that defense being not highly touted, but
That defense
people
is good.
talking
They
about
got
the
Josh
defense
Allen.
having
Yeah,
a lot of
they got-
players.
they had talent.
What's his name? The number one
But we
pick.
talking about the offensive side.
No, I'm
of
saying the
ball.
team. You said he was saying the roster. I think the roster is underrated.
Well, they got Josh Allen. They had a couple of players on defense, but they rounded it off.
They got the number one
And-
pick on defense too.
It got strong. Yeah,
And the number one pick on
Georgia.
offense.
Walker, yeah.
And the number one pick on offense.
But they were picking number one, so that tells you how poor the team was.
How many years did they do that?
And
Shit.
Travis Etienne had a
That's what
breakout.
I'm saying. That
Travis
tells you
Etienne
how
had a
bad the
breakout
team
year.
was. Yeah.
I think I ain't knocking Doug Peterson. I
Yes,
just-
you are.
I don't think he did it just like it wasn't a hell of a job.
I'll
I
say
think
this.
that was like all they needed was a decent coach to come in with some type of sensibility that Urban Meyer didn't
I
have.
agree with that. I agree with that.
But think about where they came from. Think about even how far they came this season. Beginning of the year, Tennessee Titans was up what, 6 games? They were
that
running
is-
away
that
with
is
this thing.
true.
We were talking about him being a bust.
That is true.
What?
Yes.
How many weeks
He was
ago?
on watch.
He was on
He
watch.
was
on
And
watch.
all of a
Yeah.
sudden, it turned, and this team is in the playoffs.
You know,
This
and
team,
all of a sudden Tennessee turned.
yeah, Tennessee. Well, they both turned at
And
the
they
same.
had
They
the
both
worst.
did.
Tennessee
They
didn't
had
have
the
a
worst
quarterback,
collapse.
yeah.
They had a horrible collapse.
Right, but Jacksonville woke up and they started playing ball. They had to play. I mean, Tennessee could have backed their way into this thing if Jacksonville had.
If they had a quarterback,
yeah,
all
Tennessee-
they needed
Tennessee-
was a decent quarterback.
right.
Tennessee almost made a case that Trevor Lawrence is overrated if they had
A decent quarterback.
somewhat of a decent quarterback.
Nah, because we weren't overrated. Trevor Lawrence.
Overrated based off of the fact of people in the media. I'm not talking about us.
He is starting to get the hype.
People in the
train.
media are saying, like, of course, like people like Nick Wright and other people saying, like, he's a top 5 QB right now.
No,
He's the prince that was promised.
No.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, these are the when I be making these arguments against these QBs, it's not because I hate them. It's because they not who they say they are. Because they ain't done shit.
He's not top 5 yet.
No.
He made him. He got him to the playoffs. That's good. He
made
did
a
more
run.
than we asked him to. We just
Yes.
wanted
We had 7 games. He got us
7
2
games.
more and a playoff
and a
appearance.
playoff win and won the division game.
Yeah.
and
so
he won the games
he's
that
not
were
on
key
watch.
games. He didn't just win a game.
He's not on watch
Mhm.
anymore. He's elevated to where we now have expectations.
Yeah.
So now when
Both of these quarterbacks.
they both did the things that I said that these niggas didn't do, and they was giving them credit for doing shit that they didn't do. So now that they've made the playoffs, one of them got to lose.
Yeah.
So that now expectations are moving forward. You're a playoff team. Moving forward, Trevor Lawrence should own that division, that conference.
That's a
Moving
fact.
forward, Justin Herbert should at least be a wild card team. Moving forward, based on those rosters, those
I agree with that.
those QBs, they got to.
I agree with that.
That's no question.
They should both be in contention every year.
I ain't gonna say all that now.
I'm talking about.
I'm just saying they should both be playoff. If we have 17,
I'm talking about for division.
if we should be
I'm sorry.
17,
I didn't clarify.
not Justin Herbert ain't winning no division with Patty Mahomes in it. And Trevor Lawrence barely
But
beat Joshua Dobbs.
But he should be in contention. You know what I'm saying? He
Huh?
plays Patty. He plays Patty close.
He do.
So he why
Close,
shouldn't he?
but,
He beat him last year.
Yeah.
he beat him last year
Twice.
Twice. No, he
Yeah.
didn't beat him twice.
Did he beat him twice?
Nah,
I don't know, but he
beat him twice.
has
no,
last
he
year.
didn't.
So-
Last year, I remember Travis Kelce had a
I
great
thought
game.
he had a
against
pretty
the
good
Chargers.
record
He
against
beat him.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he beat Patrick twice. I thought last year
Mm.
because it was shocking.
Mm-mm. Nah. Who y'all got though? Chargers or Jaguars? I got Chargers. I think Herbert's a better quarterback than
Chargers. My Super Bowl picks still hold up.
Give me
Lawrence.
Jacksonville.
Goofy ass.
My Minnesota and the Chargers Super Bowl.
Sean, you said Chargers?
No, I said Jacksonville.
Yeah, they had he had beat him 2 out of
Twice.
3 times.
Yeah, he beat him.
I'm looking at it right now.
and he 30-27 his last time.
Yeah.
He beat him twice last year. That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he had a winning record over Patrick Mahomes.
He had
That's
he had
part
beaten
of
him
why he
twice
got all
going
the
into this
hype.
game.
Remember?
Right.
I know he's won the most in that division against Patty.
He
I didn't
was
know he
2-0
won.
going into this game.
I thought he last season they ended with
Well,
Travis
Mahomes
Kelce.
didn't play in week 17, so it was 1-1. But yeah, I mean, shit, that's the caveat. But
And he
Yeah, and I
outplayed.
stand corrected
If you look at the stats in those 2 games. He outplayed.
He
Patrick
plays
in
great
both those
stats.
games.
That game they lost. I'm just saying, but like we talking about wins and losses. This nigga talking about he almost did. And
No,
when
no,
it
I'm
count,
just saying
that
the
nigga
we're
stats
talking
are
about them playing against each other.
Yeah, I'm just saying
their
it's
overall
not.
team record.
It's we talk about when we mentioned it. The whole reason we brought it up was we were saying he can't compete because it's Patty. But I'm saying their records are close.
I'm saying
and
competing in
their
the division
stats
as
are
like
close.
winning the division. He's not
Right, that's what I'm saying. He can if he
I don't
if he
think he
does
ever
what he's
can.
supposed to do.
Nah, if they
Because against Patty, you could say that, but then what about the whole rest of the
That's what I'm
NFL?
saying. That's the
That's what Shelton was
expectation.
saying.
That's what we should be expecting him to do.
I expected that the whole time. Y'all didn't.
Well, now we do.
Expect
That's
I expected him for how much he was getting talked about. I was asking y'all like, why is he not winning these games? Why is he not beat
Correct.
Derek Carr
correct.
when it's a
So
playoff?
I'm agreeing with you. Now that he's gotten to the playoffs, that's what we talked about. We can start saying we expect him to be in contention in that division now. We gotta
I
say
thought
that.
you were saying contention as far as the Super Bowl.
Well, just
Nah,
Just
you
competitive.
cleared that up.
yeah,
just
yeah.
competitive.
I was just saying in that division.
Okay, who you got?
Jazz versus the Chargers. I still struggle with Staley, bro.
Mm-hmm.
God, this is where the game at?
In
Jacksonville, bro.
That's why. That's
It's in Florida.
yeah.
This should have been the first game.
I like this game. I like.
Give me
this
Chargers.
matchup.
Get shit out of here, man. That should be Saturday.
I like
Noon.
this matchup. Yeah,
I think this.
Now commentators are gonna be rushing.
Actually, I would have wanted this one to be the prime time because once again,
Really?
these are your young guns that y'all hyped up. We get to both, and they're kind of equal this year as far as the talent on those
And I
teams.
feel like they got. Hold on, let me.
What is that, Saturday night? That's a Saturday night game,
It
right?
should be.
I know the Bengals are a prime
See,
time.
that
game,
could be the noon.
which I don't
game.
know why they made that game a prime time game. Because
shouldn't be.
Lamar's not about to.
Yeah, if
he may
Lamar's not
play.
playing, it shouldn't be.
Hey, no, Lamar. I thought he was playing.
They
They're
said it's a
he's
strong
not right now.
possibility.
Yeah, they saying. Are they saying he is or he's not?
They just said a strong possibility. No one has confirmed that he's starting.
But I
yet.
still
At
don't-
least to my knowledge, somebody
Yeah.
could correct that.
No way.
But he ain't got nothing around him at all now because like Bateman's gone.
Oh, that is a prime time. The Chargers.
Chargers.
That is the prime time.
It should be.
It's
Saturday.
Saturday night. Yeah,
That's
It's
the hype game.
The afternoon game, Seahawks 49ers, which no one gives a fuck about.
Right.
And the primetime game, Sunday night
That'll
is the
probably be
Bengals,
That makes sense then.
Ravens. But I would have, but they had no choice because they got the Dolphins, Bills, and
It's
the
cool
Giants,
because ain't nothing to
Vikings.
go against
Yeah.
Saturday night. Ain't no football, college football, or nothing. So
Moving on, we have the Bills and Dolphins.
That should have been the first game.
That's the
'cause
first game Sunday.
That should have been the first game Saturday.
Everybody picking the
Get
Bills.
that shit out of the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
You picking the Bills, Ken?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
are they saying whether two are gonna play?
Yeah, TT. I don't think he's playing.
They said he should be done playing football.
Mm.
Well,
3
they-
concussions in 6
yeah,
months.
they
Yeah,
said-
they said that's son. Yeah.
They still saying like he's questionable. The last thing I saw.
I did not
I've seen a lot of people
Yeah,
saying that he
done.
shouldn't even be playing
He's
football.
Well, I seen that
Yeah.
too. Of course.
even like NFL heads who are like,
Yeah, like this.
who like
I'm seeing-
who played
yeah, I'm
the
seeing
league, like,
doctors
you
say
remember
that.
Troy Aikman? That's why he stopped playing. He had those 3
Mhm.
concussions within like I want to say 9. Well, from one season to the other, in the beginning of the other season, and they started talking about how he was like going kind of cuckoo. So
Yeah.
Troy Aikman had to get up out of there. It might be over for Tua.
Up next we have. Well, before we move on, last thing is Miami picking a QB this offseason?
They should.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They got to.
you got to get.
I think the Tua thing is done.
Yes, Tua.
Giants versus Vikings. You already know who I got. Who you got, Lou?
Vikings.
Who you got, Ken?
Vikings.
Who you got, Sheldon?
The Vikings. Here's
Here's a little caveat. Here's a little Sheldon on the fence.
I'm not gonna be on the fence. I was just gonna say that that last game hurt the Giants because I think the Vikings gonna be looking for that this time. They ain't gonna let them how they did them in that last game.
That's a good point.
Jumped out to that lead. They're gonna be more leery of this team this time. They ain't gonna be caught off guard like that.
I think it'll be close because Brian Daboll helped.
But I would say Brian Dable gonna cook up a whole new scheme.
I
If
hope
anything,
he
he
does.
figured out how to take out. 'Cause
Dude.
Justin Jefferson had a great game, and we realized when you focus on Justin Jefferson, he ain't gonna have a great game. So we gonna see what that
I
game
hope so.
plan is.
Dude is
I
a
hope
good
so.
coach, man.
Up next, we got the Ravens and Bengals.
That's the Bengals.
Yeah, everybody picked Cincinnati.
Mhm.
I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
Especially if Lamar don't play. If Lamar don't play, then he out of there.
I would be so disappointed if he don't play.
I wouldn't be, but
That
hey,
would
he
be
out of there.
like,
Yeah, I want to see him play. them.
yeah. I'd like to see him do his thing and not earn, but make people eat their words about this contract.
And the last pick before we get to our top 5 list, we have the Cowboys at the Bucks.
This scary.
I got Dallas.
This scary.
I have no fear about Dallas winning the
I
game.
have Dallas, and I'm terrified.
With everything you know about the Cowboys, right? Let's move to the other side. Everything you know about the Bucks, you said they suck.
They do.
They have the worst offensive line in the
They
playoffs,
do.
especially in the NFC.
Yes.
They cannot run the ball. That's been proven all season.
Yes.
And Tom Brady,
It's Thomas Brady.
And we talk about white man's luck.
Yes.
This is the whitest of
Yes.
white man.
so you picking the Bucks?
No.
Lou,
That running game is atrocious, and that line is awful. That's the only reason, man. They got a horrible line.
who you getting?
I'm picking the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I'm about to say if you pick the Bucks, you ain't a Cowboys fan. Ken, who you got?
Brady gonna win this game,
I would be so upset.
but I ain't picking the white man.
You know it.
So
You know
give
what
me-
that
give
is.
me-
You hedging your bets too?
Give me that, bro. But Brady gonna win this shit, bro. Bucks gonna win
All
this
of
game,
them, you're
bro.
all right.
Bucks gonna win this
The
game,
first,
bro.
the
But
first red
I
flag.
just-
You know, the first red flag is Monday night standalone.
It's the
game.
standalone game.
Yeah.
Bro, this is the perfect.
Brady gonna
Like,
win this game, bro.
Hey,
oh my
I just
I'm
refuse
calling
to
it right
pick
now. 35-14.
Nah,
Cowboys.
nah.
I
Brady
hope,
threw for
I hope it's
400
that
yards,
because if it's close,
and
it's
Mike
gonna be-
Evans went off. That was his. He getting ready.
I think
Oh,
the
that was
Cow-
2 games ago. That wasn't last.
I think the Cowboys
Yeah,
are.
2 games ago.
I don't think the Bucks have scored over 30 points at all this season. And
They
I
did
think-
that game, didn't
They had to.
Oh,
They
that
played
was
at the beginning
they?
of
That
one-
one game.
They
For that
played at the
one
beginning
game.
of the year.
Maybe not because they had to come back. But I think they only got to like 26 or something.
Well, they were down 14 and nothing.
yeah,
in that
they were
game.
losing to the
They had to
Panthers,
come back
right?
on down
Yeah.
to all of their victories this year. The Bucks did.
I don't think they have enough.
Yeah, they
fire-
scored 30. They just scored 30.
I don't
Okay.
think they have enough firepower to go toe for toe with Dallas. Because even though
Dak gonna give it to him. He ain't gonna have to.
What firepower did the Patriots
Dak, I
have?
told y'all, Dak is gonna throw a pick in the game, but that's not gonna be the reason
You
why.
can't give Brady that many shots, bro.
He gonna get one shot.
They need to. They need
And
to.
if anything,
It's
we
gotta
need
be
to
a
worry about
blowout.
Brady because Brady is the only non-mobile quarterback left in the NFC.
They have to run the ball.
And
They have to convert on third
Michael
down.
Parsons, what's his name?
DeMarcus Lawrence.
DeMarcus Lawrence. Michael Parsons got to have a hell of a game. He should be in Brady's face.
They have to win the game.
Yes,
Yes.
That's
DeMarcus
gonna be
Lawrence,
difficult, though,
Michael
'cause
I
Parsons.
think Brady
get that
gonna
thing out of
fumble
there.
or throw a pick.
Nah, he gonna.
Because if you rush him, he gonna throw something up to
Nah,
Mike
he-
Evans, Trayvon Diggs. The thing is about the Cowboys, they gotta have Diggs on Mike Evans at the whole time and just double team Godwin.
As long as they get pressure on Brady, it should be a fairly winnable game. If we can't get to them and he moving around and doing Tom Brady shit, then it'll get ugly.
I just know that first game was 19-3 Tampa.
Yes, yeah, it was that first game of the season. Dallas looked
And
terrible.
They ravaged Dak.
Yes.
All right, those are our picks. That'll be we'll update y'all next week. But let's move on to this top five before we close out the show. It's been we had a lot to talk about, so we try to get through everything. So let's just run through these quick. I'll start with, if y'all don't know, we're gonna do QBs, wide receivers, running backs, DN /
missed
pass
that?
rushers, and
You didn't see it. That was in the
It
chat.
was in the chat.
Fuck.
well, then we just gonna move on without you.
All right.
And we're gonna do corners and DBs overall.
Mhm.
So I'll start with defensive ends and pass rushers. At number 5, I have Hassan Riddick.
Oh fuck! I see it.
Brian Burns, Carolina.
Let's go. I have Chris Jones. I'm sorry.
Chris Jones.
Mhm.
Who you got at 4?
I'm sorry.
Hunter from Minnesota.
I have Michael Parsons. And the Cowboys. And at number 3, I have Max Crosby.
I got Hassan Riddick at 3. Our favorite playoff teams.
I got Matthew Judon.
At 3,
Mhm.
who you have at 2?
Miles Garrett.
Parsons.
Miles Garrett did have 16 sacks.
Yes.
I had Matthew Judon at 2. And then for my number 1 was Bosa.
Nick Bosa.
Bosa.
Who did y'all have for cornerbacks and DBs overall? At number 5, I had Jesse Bates.
Poyer from Buffalo.
I had Darius Slay at 5.
Who you have at 4?
Minka.
Minka. At 4?
Mm-hmm.
I Diggs at 4.
Diggs. I had Jair Alexander. He showed up those last
I put him
when,
at 3.
Like when that run that they went on. He was
playing.
locked
balling.
when he came out. Remember you
He
said
said
it.
it.
He said the shit. He was like, bro, that was a fluke game. I was
He
like,
did.
bro,
He
that
said it.
nigga,
backed it up.
Sheldon,
I
what did
said
he do?
he backed
He
that
set
shit
up
up.
the 25 to life.
That's why he my number 3.
He backed that shit up.
Just for that.
Just
stretch.
for that, because Justin Jefferson, he was, bro.
Yeah, and everybody called him crazy for saying it. Everybody like he finna eat you alive, and he did exactly.
They
what he
shut
said
down that whole MVP
Yeah.
talk for Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah,
he sure
Rob.
did. He sure did.
What up, B?
So who you got 3?
From Minnesota, Smith. 22, the white boy.
You said yours was 5 and 4 already.
Yeah, my 5 and 4 was Slay and Minka, and 3 was
Okay.
Alexander for me.
3 is Alexander for you. 3 is Tariq Woolen from the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm. Dang, he's up there. I forgot about him. I don't know how I forgot him.
And then that who's number 2? Do I go now?
Yeah.
Number 2, I have Mika Fitzpatrick.
I got Hufanga.
Mine is Stephon Gilmore. Believe it or not.
That's interesting.
I say that because, and let me tell you why. I'm explaining
With the
that.
Colts?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Oh,
man, he was a lockdown corner. He was following the top receiver no matter what, and he played. He balled out when he played.
Who you got at number 1?
Number 1, I got Sauce. Sauce in the strong.
I got Minka. I forgot about Sauce. I ain't
How
even
you
gonna
forget
lie.
about the sauce?
Damn,
Sauce-
I forgot
the
about
sauce
that.
Can't
in
leave the
strong.
sauce.
You're right. I gotta do my list.
He
I'm
wasn't even
taking
on my list last time, but
You
I'm
gotta
knocking
take somebody
everybody.
out.
I'm knocking everybody down. Fitzpatrick is
Sauce-
second and Sauce. is
Sauce,
one.
you talk about somebody backing up his shit.
He
Yeah, that's
did.
a
He
fact.
came into the draft
I
like
forgot
Dion
about him.
and said, "Nigga, I'm that nigga."
Damn,
He
I
did.
forgot about
I,
him.
I got to give
Y'all
him his
don't
credit.
understand how much I wanted him to be a Giant. He was one pick away
Yeah.
from being a New
It
York
was right
Giant.
there too.
He was right fucking there. A UC nigga in New York. Oh,
You,
come
you've
on.
been winning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
give me
Well, he is
Sauce.
still in New York, but y'all know what I mean. So we got that. Let's get to the sexy shit that motherfuckers want to talk about. Running backs. I had an argument with somebody. I'll give y'all some caveat before I tell y'all number 5. I had an argument with somebody because somebody said this person is top 5 based on what they did this year. And I was like, no, the fuck they not. Fuck out of here. Just because they did that shit, that don't really, it's in a hyperbole. It's outlier.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at the rest of his stats. He had over 1,000 yards too as a split back. So at number 5, we're doing running backs. I'm doing Jamal Williams. Broke Barry Sanders' record in Detroit. 17 touchdowns. That's more touchdowns than anybody receiving or running.
I can't even argue with that.
And he had over 1,000 yards. I thought he had under 1,000 yards because all they have him at the goal line. The only reason why I know this nigga.
Like, he broke Barry Sanders' record like it really means.
I'm just saying 17 touchdowns.
Yeah.
For a running back.
He had a career year. High octane offense.
I thought it was all
Williams,
goal line
though,
carries, but he had over 1,000 yards, so it's more than that.
just leave Barry out of it.
You leave that part alone, right?
I'm just saying that's what he did.
Is he
when they say it,
better?
they make it seem like Jamal Williams is out here just dogging motherfuckers, bro.
He ain't just dogging motherfuckers, but he did some top dog shit.
Is he better than Miles Sanders though?
I don't know. You got to go to Sheldon for that. Sheldon the one that said he top 3.
No.
Give me Derrick Henry 5.
Derrick Henry is
Yeah.
5?
5.
Yes.
This man said Jamal
I
Williams.
leaned heavily on playoff teams.
Mm-hmm.
If you made the playoffs, you were higher in my
I get
rankings.
it.
Derrick Henry was 5. All the other 4 running backs made the playoffs.
I had Miles Sanders at 5.
Of course you did.
Who you got at 4?
Saquon.
Who you got at 4?
Dalvin Cook.
Number 4, I had Saquon. At number 3, I had Nick Chubb.
I got McCaffrey.
I got Nick Chubb.
Who you got number 2?
Number 2, I got Derrick Henry.
Saquon.
I got Josh Jacobs. And at my number 1, I got Derrick Henry.
I got Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs number 1.
Derrick Henry, let me look. The reason why I had Derrick Henry on at number 1 is because for as much as we were like, what the hell is going on with the Titans? He's the most consistent player. He is, I think, number 2 in rushing yards. He has 13 touchdowns, which I think outside of Jamal Williams and Austin Eckler, or he's tied with Austin Eckler for number 2 as far as touchdowns. And he averages, what is his rushing average? I'm just saying he was a dog this year still. With the team on his back. With that being said,
You're cool with that if you're the Titans?
They need to blow up the team.
Oh, I was just about to
Bro,
ask you.
Jamal Williams only had 2 100-yard games.
Right.
I said he had over 1,000 yards.
And he only had 2 games over 80 yards.
Yeah, he played well, but he didn't.
he
He
played-
wasn't that guy.
Split-
5?
It was
I-
a speech. It was a speech.
I had.
It was the
It was the
split
tears.
back.
It was the tears that got Nick at the speech.
It was
he
a
cried
split
that
back
last game.
situation with him and Swift.
He
He
cried.
had over
man.
1,000 yards.
This is offensive.
He had over 1,000 yards and had over 15 touchdowns.
No,
I'm sorry.
man,
To
no.
answer y'all's question, Eckler was not the fantasy king this year. He had a good year receiving wise, but running the ball it wasn't there really like that.
Yeah, Eckler
He had
was-
touchdowns though.
Yeah, he'll running back.
Now,
I mean,
Christian
he'll
McCaffrey
receiver.
was right there at 5 for me because Christian, he caught up in the end. His yards kind of got up there, and he played well for the team. But like I said, the only reason I put Miles up there is because of the yards and the touchdowns.
Who did I
He
have
had
at number 1?
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
He led the league.
I didn't
in
have
rushing.
McCaffrey on my
Why?
because he
He had 10 touchdowns the last 8 weeks.
I just didn't have
You
McCaffrey.
always talking about tutties.
He did. No, I say that for wide receivers. Running backs is a little bit different.
If I were the Titans, yes, I'd blow it up because Derrick Henry can be amazing. My defense can be solid. My head coach can be amazing. And if I still got a bum quarterback, I know I'm not making the playoffs, and I got to go compete with Trevor Lawrence. I got to compete with whoever the Texans about to get. They got to make a better investment at quarterback.
Yeah,
I
Malik
can't
Willis,
have Tannehill back.
I
there.
hate that they gave him on Malik so quick,
Yeah.
but it's Mike Vrabel and he's trying to win now. He ain't got time to do rookie shit.
Yeah, Mike. I don't know if Malik Willis is good or not, but
Is
he's not
Vrabel- is
the
Vrabel-
Titans quarterback.
Is Vrabel on the hot seat?
No, he's probably one of the best
Nah, they
coaches
like
in the
Mike
AFC. He's gonna be there for a
Somebody
long
was
time.
saying he could be on the hot seat.
Nah, hell
No, I
no.
don't think
I
so.
would hire him.
I mean,
if
he
fired.
ain't got. Yeah,
I'll take him in
got
Dallas
but
tomorrow.
1 or 2 more years, but he got to make playoffs.
But he
next
got
year.
if he gonna blow up the team,
Nah,
he gotta
he
be there for
gonna-
at least 3 to 4.
I don't think he's gonna blow it up.
It ain't a lot you got to do with the type of like style that he has. He don't need a lot of superstars. It ain't a lot of additional pieces that he's gonna have to add. He just got to get a better quarterback.
When I say blow it up, I mean like you're trading away Derrick Henry, you're trading away like star players.
Like,
I thought they were already doing
not
that when they
even
traded
that.
away AJ Brown.
if I'm the Titans and I can bring in Derek Carr, that would help.
No, that was the biggest. That's why they fired the GM because they didn't want AJ should have never been let go.
Facts. They're right.
That
Yeah.
was the dumbest thing ever.
They just need somebody competent. Like if they get Derek Carr at quarterback, that could help them. With
Yeah.
what you got
There you go.
with Derrick Henry, like they
Derek
need a
Carr-
veteran
Derek Carr on
quarterback,
that
somebody who
squad
can
would
throw
be-
the ball,
Mhm.
make the receivers a little bit better. They'd be all right. They can win the
Derek Carr
AFC
on that
South with
squad
Derek
would-
Carr.
would
Yeah,
be nice.
facts.
Speaking of receivers,
Mhm.
let's go to that list.
Okay.
I'll start with you, Sheldon. Who you got number 5?
Let me find my list. I'm sorry. Number 5, I got AJ Brown.
At 5?
Mm-hmm.
Who you got?
St. Brown from Detroit.
Ahmad St. Brown. What's his name?
Yeah, Mark Croy, whatever.
Something-
Number 14 from
Something
Detroit.
St. Brown.
Number 14. He a beast, man.
I got Jamar Chase at 5.
Mm.
He slipped because he was injured, so
Yeah,
he slipped.
yeah.
Yeah, slide down.
Mm-hmm.
At number 4, I have Justin Jefferson.
I have Jamar Chase.
You had Justin Jefferson at 4?
Did you see that game against the Packers? Are you serious? You
For
going into
sure.
the? He's supposed to be your best player, and he got locked up like that. Fuck out of here. You number 4. He lucky he made my list.
Man, I had a tie with Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill.
You have a what?
Tie with Devontae
No.
Adams.
I said who's your number 4. I didn't say who's a tie. Who's your
Come
number
on,
4?
man.
You can't. It's a 5. You can't have 6 niggas on your list.
Damn. Give me Tyreek Hill.
At 4.
Yeah, he made the playoffs.
All right. Who you got at 3?
Stephon Diggs.
Who you got at 3?
At 3, I have Stephon Diggs.
I got AJ Brown at 3.
2, I got Travis Kelce.
Tariq Hill at number 2.
I had Devontae Adams at 2.
I ain't
And
mad
then at
at
number
mine.
1, I have Stephon Diggs.
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson number 1 for me.
Tyreek Hill made 6. He was my number 6.
It was clearly at least 6. And like I said, you can't leave Travis Kelce out of that either.
I didn't want to put him in because I did put him in earlier, but I was like, let me just, if I'm gonna end the year, I want to end the year with receivers. But Travis Kelce would probably have been my top 3. I don't think. I honestly, the biggest thing about that Chiefs offense outside of Patty is Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
If you take Travis Kelce, I don't even think Patty wins as many games as he does without Travis.
Not at all.
Um,
He has to be accounted for on every play.
yeah.
And that's deep, and that's a cornerback, not a you can't just put a safety on him and be okay, i.e. the Chargers.
All right, y'all. So this is the quarterback list. I took this part of the list very seriously. I take every list seriously, but this was one I'm like, all right, I'm confident I can argue anybody with this one. Number 5, I got Jalen Hurts. We said playoff teams. It's like, no. Jalen Hurts showed a lot to me this year, but like I told y'all, he is still pending as far as my final result of him because the playoffs haven't started yet. But for him to almost make an MVP campaign, just like Carson Wentz, I'm going with number 5, Jalen Hurts.
I didn't even think that there was a 5th. I think that there are only 4. I got I got Cousins, Prescott, and Lawrence.
Damn,
Same
you only
thing.
have 5?
Yeah, them the same thing as far as 5 to me. I got 4. I don't even got 5.
You
got
put
what
Trevor
now?
Lawrence in the same.
I got Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, all at the same grade under 4.
So you don't care about the 5th spot.
Yeah, 5th spot didn't even exist to me.
All right, so I was gonna say,
All of them are the same.
That whatever you just said don't matter.
Yeah.
So
Number 5,
who
I
you
got
got?
Jared Goff.
Jared got 5.
Mm.
Okay.
I respect.
Who you
Goff
got at
had
4?
29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. 4, I got Allen.
Josh Allen.
Mhm.
Who you got it for?
Jalen Hurts.
At number 4, I have Dak Prescott. He slipped. He was 3 at first. He hasn't been playing well, Sheldon. I agree. So he went from number 3 to number 4.
It's
Bro,
crazy.
list, bro.
And
Crazy.
How can that man be the number 4 quarterback?
I'm
in the
just
league?
saying.
And we have you. You didn't answer the question. You asked him. What's your confidence level of him going to the playoffs?
I told y'all.
I didn't hear it. I'm
No
No
sorry.
question. I think they're gonna blow out the Bucks. They're gonna make Tom Brady wish he would have stayed at home and not gotten a divorce. Like it's gonna be 35-14.
And you think
That
the
ain't gonna happen.
Giants are gonna win too.
Yes, that's
So
gonna
you
be a close
think-
game.
So you think
think it's gonna
the
be reversed.
Giants are gonna go play Philly next round, and then Dallas is gonna play.
The San
So
Fran.
what
Do
are
you
your
think Dallas will beat San Fran or no?
I think Dallas will beat San
So what are your Super Bowl expectations for him? You think his out of 10, what is his
He
Super
got him
Bowl
to the
chance?
conference finals right now.
I
want him in the
my,
Super
my
Bowl.
prediction is they're going to get to the NFC title game because they should get to the NFC title game.
Mhm.
If they do not, then I'm off them completely.
So beating the 49ers and
After that, I
Bucks.
can't
Beating
vouch
the
for it.
49ers.
So
and Bucks.
if Dallas loses at any point before getting to the Super Bowl,
Before getting to the NFC title game.
who is the number one person to blame in that you think it'll be?
It depends on how they lose, honestly, because you could easily say McCarthy or Dak, but I know that Dak will be there next year.
Dak's name is going to be in that equation somewhere. That's all I know.
It depends, because if it comes down to like Dak had a good game, drove him down the field, and they missed the kick on the field goal, it's like, all right, well, is that Dak's fault or the kicker's fault?
Them 3 picks Dak do early in the game before they went to that last drive.
I said in the last drive, if he loses the game off of that, but if he throw picks and shit, obviously that matters. And yeah, they lost off to him.
What you on 3?
Who you got?
Jalen Hurts.
Who you got, Lou?
Justin Herbert.
I have Jared Goff at 3. Do you know Jared Goff's stats this season? They actually surprised me. Who do you think had a better season between Jared Goff and Josh Allen?
You just read the stat.
Yeah. He had 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He was better than a lot of those guys.
Josh Allen had 35 touchdowns and 14 interceptions.
Mm-hmm. The thing about Josh Allen, too, that we got to take into consideration is he'll rush the ball, too. He'll run the ball.
Who do you think had more?
Josh Allen is probably the closest thing to Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts there he is. Meaning, like, he's going to be the dual threat that you need.
Who do you think had more passing yards between Josh Allen and Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
Who do you think had a better completion percentage between Jared Goff and Josh Allen?
Jared Goff.
Who had the better record?
Yeah, I told you. Yeah.
I just wanted. I'm not saying that to this. I'm saying it for the chat that's going to
They're destroying you right
They
now.
always saying shit.
Yeah, he deserves the praise, and I was saying it like I give him the praise for that because he's proven himself, but at the same time I can't put him above some of those guys like that. Like I said, because they do so much for their teams. You take him out of that equation, I think you can put another body in there, and they may not be quite as good. What made him good was he didn't turn the ball over as much.
Yeah.
But you can put somebody in there to do what he does. You can't take Josh Allen out of that lineup and have success right away.
Right now, that's not looking like the case.
Jalen Hurts,
are we all assuming the last 2 quarterbacks?
Yeah, we good with that.
Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Oh, I
Is
thought
that
you were going to say Tom Brady.
Huh? Do y'all both have them as 2 and 1?
Yeah.
Burrow 2,
Same thing.
Mahomes 1.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Who your top 5 quarterbacks, Ken?
Oh, I didn't put together a list. I didn't know.
Just off your top of the dome.
They don't have to be in order.
Yeah, I would definitely do Patrick. I would have Josh Allen there. Burrow, of course. Herbert would be in there. And I think I would throw Hurts in there.
I think Hurts deserves the top 5 praise.
I don't think is Herbert over Trevor Lawrence at this point?
Yes.
Wait, yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised you had him on your list because I think I've only been the only one that's consistently had him on my list.
Herbert.
The only reason I say this is because Trevor Lawrence down the stretch was
good.
Dude, he was one of the top in the league in that stretch. The last 10 games?
I want to say 8.
I think it was 10. Like down the stretch, Trevor Lawrence.
The only one that had a better down the stretch was Jared Goff because Lawrence had like 15 touchdowns and 0.
It was something crazy.
Something similar like Jared Goff. Jared Goff had like 17 touchdowns and no interception, and Lawrence was right there. But
everybody had Josh.
But I just think talent wise, I'd rather have Justin Herbert than Trevor Lawrence.
Everybody had Josh Allen in the top 5, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody had Josh Allen in the top 5.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
He's top 6.
I didn't either.
I thought y'all did.
I just had 4.
Well, those are our top 5 positions list. Let us know what y'all guys think. Y'all already gonna do that shit because y'all some haters. So let's move into these super chats.
All right. Yeah, I was just looking at the last couple of games, Shelton. He had a couple of games without touchdowns. So yeah.
Who did?
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, okay.
And he had one in the last game, and then he had before that his games in week 16 and 17. He didn't have any touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he did have some.
Yeah, but before then he was balling. 4 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 1, 3, 2. So yeah, he had a nice run.
Mm-hmm.
He had a
Look
nice
at
run.
Herbert though. That's the
Uh,
only reason I say that because Herbert fell off down the stretch.
I thought he played better down the
He was
stretch.
shitball against that Denver game.
His team was hurt. He had
Nah, I ain't. Yeah, we ain't saying that.
his team was hurt.
That's a playoff team, right? They was hurt. They was hurt enough to win the
they-
playoff.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say they
playoff
won.
spot.
Yeah,
They-
his last he had 2 in week 18, 2 in week 17. He had 2 games without touchdowns, but yep. And then he had 1-1-1. So yeah, they're about even.
Okay,
Uh,
they're close. They're real close as far
They're
as
close in accomplishments because they
Yeah.
ain't done shit. Both of them,
Right.
but somebody's gonna have to win that game.
yeah.
While I pull these up, any thoughts on Aaron Rodgers going out like that? Was that on Aaron?
That was surprising. I thought they was gonna win that game.
I
It's
didn't
crazy.
either.
He don't have
That
no
was on
home field
Aaron, man.
advantage. He don't have no home field advantage. If you play Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau, that means shit.
Man.
That was on Aaron. That was on Aaron because of where they were and the fact that he was throwing those
Ducks.
punt, them punt interceptions.
They said he was trying to
You
go
know
for
how
PI.
many? You know how many
That's Aaron
quarterbacks?
He went for PI on that last one to Christian Watson. When they came with the blitz, he was definitely going for PI on that one.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
throw the ball
Aaron,
out of bounds. Like,
Aaron Rodgers was the only quarterback in the league to start at least 11 games and didn't have a 300-yard passing game.
yeah, which was crazy.
That was
Crazy.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
you know what? Because
crazy.
I've watched them enough this year, and I haven't really seen marked improvement in those receivers. Christian Watson just beat people deep, and that's all he does. He takes those shots down the field to him, and he did that a couple of times. Even though he had 100 yards receiving, but
Dubs fell off.
Hmm?
Dubs fell.
he
completely.
had 2 bad drops in that game.
Mhm.
Aaron Jones fumbled the ball, so I think you talk about McCarthy. You got to look at LaFleur too, because it's like,
yeah.
bro, this is
Oh,
a must-win
yeah,
game.
absolutely.
And you guys out here making these mistakes, a fumble, Quay Walker doing some dumb shit.
Quay Walker shit was horrendous.
That
'Cause
was crazy.
That honestly,
That cost
there was
them.
there was a bunch of shit like
They
you
played
mentioned,
together in college though, and the thought process was that's his boy, but he still seen the dude before
Yeah.
he pushed him. So I don't know what he was thinking, but they were saying he was just so emotionally invested with your boy
And he
being
pushed
hurt.
him
I
out
don't
the
give
way.
a fuck
After
about
the
none of
Hamlin-
that shit.
After the
Right.
Hamlin stuff, he was so emotionally invested.
I don't
That's
give
what
a
they trying
fuck
to say.
about any of that shit.
Yeah.
We have to win this game. We
Right.
win and we're in. Anything you do when the points matter, anything you do matters.
Especially when Detroit was playing to put you
Detroit-
out.
win.
Detroit was
They
in. They were in the red zone already when he made that push.
went for
Yeah.
a 4th down multiple times. Like, yeah, come on, man. So you gotta be level headed.
They was gonna kick a field goal and that was gonna give you a chance. They weren't gonna go up. They were gonna kick a field goal and I think it was gonna tie the game, but instead they scored a touchdown to go up 20-16. And then that was it.
And
Yeah.
what was Russell Douglas doing when he walked down the line and hit the ball?
That was crazy, right?
The only thing I was thinking was he was trying to
Maybe he heard a whistle or something.
get an offsides penalty or something.
Maybe I thought he heard a whistle.
I don't know, but yeah, they should have won that game. So yeah, the fumble,
The fumble was
Dubes.
huge.
Yeah, that fumble was bad. And then what? They got 2 field goals in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
But I think whatever his name is, Dubs missed a slant. That he
Oh,
should've
Dobbs, yeah,
caught, man.
Romeo Dobbs. Yeah,
Dobbs,
Romeo Dobbs.
Bro.
He's like,
And Aaron Rodgers dropped one right in his hand. Like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, that he
now
he
you know what
had
I be
2
doing.
bad.
Now you know what I be doing with
I
it
know.
matter.
Yeah, it was-
I blame Rodgers for all that because if he had did everything he could have done to kept his boy there, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
Oh, that's where you're going with it. Okay.
Who is
Well,
his boy?
I don't think that was the case.
Shit, Devontae be
Devontae
fucking up in the
Adams.
playoffs too.
Devontae said, well, yeah, that's true. Devontae said it was more about, I think it was more about his future in Green Bay, not more than the pay.
But that's
It
what I'm
was like
saying.
he
If
wants to
had-
play
if
with
if
he wants to
coulda-
play with a good to great quarterback.
If he could have reassured him that everything gonna be
Rodgers is
cool, we
good
just
at
need
that.
to stick together.
I think that Rodgers understood this year. One, that he's not as good as Tom Brady, and
They all
we've
finished
seen.
with the same record.
But I'm just talking about from a
And so did
career
Bill.
standpoint. We seen Tom Brady lose his family for this shit. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is up to that. And I think that Aaron Rodgers thought that he was good. Wait, let me finish. I thought that Aaron Rodgers thinks that he was good enough to just start showing up to go to training camp because that's been a knock on him all year. The time has been off. The team don't know him. He wasn't here when we was practicing in training camp. He thinks he can just show up and we're gonna be good. That's not gonna happen if you ain't got
Them
Devontae Adams.
motherfuckers receivers were ass, bro.
He got to be there though to help him out, right?
He had all year.
Tom
long, they
Brady.
didn't
The reason
improve.
why Tom Brady's wife left him is because he was there. I was there throwing passes in practice in the
Tom Brady be
summertime.
skipping practices too. What
But
you
the
talking
reason he more football oriented than Aaron Rodgers is.
about? Oh man,
Aaron Rodgers was doing ayahuasca over the summer.
I'm in between both y'all because as much as like Aaron Rodgers should have been there to help the receivers. However, when I see Christian Watson in week 1 drop a pass that is literally in his chest, that's not no
and
time.
Romeo doing the fucking same shit in week 18,
Yeah,
bro.
like, you can't be doing that, bro.
Yes.
You're a
But that's the
professional.
lack of-
If you're
Yes,
yelling at him,
but
for
yes,
being a
these are-
professional.
yes.
But these are young
However,
guys.
if you're 40 years old and you're Aaron Rodgers, it's gonna take more than it took when you were 35. So you gotta be
I
there.
agree with you on that. I agree with you. If he'd been working with those guys in the summer, he may not have dropped
They
that
may
pass because
not.
he got
They
confidence.
may
They got
not.
hot
We're
late.
not guaranteeing
They
that.
got hot late when he
That's
got
not-
used
that's
to
not his
them.
fault, but what I'm saying is they're used to him, and he's talked to them about the pressure. People do
What y'all
not-
think he been doing all season?
But
But
you
that's what
gotta
I'm
be
saying.
there though.
It's hard to do it in the season. That happens. The groundwork is laid before the season. People underestimate how important leadership is in sports.
Tom Brady don't. He lost his
Leadership
family
is
behind
So
him.
important, man. It's so important.
Leadership
And
is
then this-
important.
then
Two-
you-
that I make you relax.
No, I say two things can be true. Leadership is important, but if you dropping balls, you dropping balls. That's it.
Yes,
That's it.
that's not Aaron
Pause.
Rodgers' fault, bro.
Pause.
No, it's not. I'm not blaming Aaron Rodgers for that.
He's trying to say it is.
I'm not saying it's Aaron Rodgers' fault. I'm
He said he
saying
don't care about football.
his
Like Tom
lack
Brady.
exactly his lack of presence in the offseason, being gone, doing ayahuasca. It don't
That's a
correlate.
viewpoint.
It don't correlate to a 40-year-old quarterback
that's wild.
making the
It's a
playoffs.
viewpoint because nobody care about football more than Tom Brady. Because
Okay,
nobody's gonna be
But that's what I'm
nobody
saying.
after 7 titles will tell their wife, "I'd rather be on the football field than be home with you."
And he gave him a pass for this
but
record
that's
because
the
of that
class
shit.
we try to put Aaron Rodgers in. Though.
They
I tell
finished
you-
with the same, damn near the same record.
I tell
didn't
you,
Aaron Rodgers not in the playoffs.
they? It doesn't
Tom
matter.
Brady got 7 Super Bowls, rings,
He's
or
in the-
appearances.
Oh, okay. So
He's in the
what I'm
playoffs
saying is-
because everybody sucked.
But what I'm saying is,
can't
you
give
can
him
tell
credit
how
for
much
that.
you can tell how much it matters to Tom Brady versus how much it matters to Aaron Rodgers, who is also going
did
down
it
as
matter?
allegedly the
Did
most
it-
talented quarterback ever.
Did it matter?
I
when-
didn't say this. They
Did
did.
it matter when Tom Brady was out for 2 weeks? No one knew where he was at, and while he was dealing with his marital shit.
I think the
What do you
team
mean?
knew.
That's what I'm saying. You saying it mattered? Like
His team is in the playoffs.
No, his team.
His team is in the
his
playoffs.
You saying it like it really means something.
I'm not saying. I'm saying that his team is in the playoffs and Aaron Rodgers' team isn't. And the team was complaining about Aaron Rodgers not being there, not being
The
on
team-
time,
the team
or
for the Bucs
being
com-
having timing. No one complained about Tom Brady
Yes,
not
they
being
did.
there.
The team complained that he didn't. They didn't know.
They
where
gave him 2 weeks off, bro.
No, he took 2 weeks off. They didn't give him shit.
And if
They
he
were-
cared about it, he would have had his ass there.
exactly. Because he
According
already
to you.
proved that he
I
didn't
didn't
give a fuck
hear-
about his wife.
I
Why
didn't-
you gonna deal? Why you got to lead now?
Because I tell you what,
I ain't hear nobody complain about Brady too
That's
well.
they didn't
2
come
weeks
out
off,
public.
bro.
There was rumors. There was murmurs in the locker room. I was like, bro, this nigga may not be committed as football
Bruh,
that we used
Aaron
to.
man, they
Rodgers
were
was in the
saying that.
Amazon doing ayahuasca while his receivers was out there
Aaron
sweating.
Rodgers been doing
And that's why they
drugs.
was
Nick
sorry.
is right though. They
What's
were
that?
saying that shit about him early and why he was struggling, bro.
Brady,
Yes.
his team made
But
the
the reason why no
playoffs.
one talks about it because like when he was in
Because
the
his
AFC,
team made the playoffs.
because they come up with excuses because like how he was in the AFC East when they had nobody but bum fucks and butchers in his division, and he won it based off of just being there.
But he
Same
was going
reason
to
of
the
being-
Super Bowl every year.
He went to the Super Bowl with the Bucks too.
What I'm saying is there's a level of greatness that Tom Brady has that I thought, me personally, y'all ain't got to think this. I thought that Aaron Rodgers has it, and he don't.
I don't
Aaron
think no
Rodgers
one
don't have a
thought
level
that.
of greatness.
Not that Tom
No-
Brady has,
no
and
one-
I used to put them in the same class.
No one thought that after like the last
He's-
5
he-
years.
They're what?
talent-wise,
About
he-
Rodgers.
I don't think he's talking about.
Oh, you
talent.
didn't?
No, I think Rodgers been took himself out of that Brady class comparison about
Rodgers
5 years.
never
Oh,
had
okay.
a Bill Belichick either, bro.
No, he hasn't.
You already sit here whining and complaining about fucking damn Mike McCarthy.
He hasn't, but what people try to label him as is the most talented quarterback ever. And I just don't think that's applicable,
He can-
especially
he
with
can
what
be
the
in that
level
conversation.
of that he applies to
He could
it.
be in the most talented conversation, bro. They ain't saying he's the
He's
He's
most
super talented now.
accomplished.
He's
Brady
up
is
there.
not more talented than
No,
Aaron
he's not more
Rodgers.
And his
talented.
career-wise,
I agree with that.
career-wise, he
He
hasn't
works
been-
harder, but he's not as
He got a
talented.
better career.
No, I'm saying career-wise, he hasn't been more talented than Aaron Rodgers. The things Aaron Rodgers has done talent-wise on the football field, Brady.
No,
can't
that's what
do.
I'm speaking to, though. I'm speaking to his lack of loving football like Brady, which is why Brady is more accomplished, which is why Aaron Rodgers didn't have a great year.
Nah, bro.
That's what y'all just said this.
I know what you just said, but
He said
it's
it ain't shit what he said.
inaccurate.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
true at all.
This but
You can't tell me a nigga who only won how many games did the Bucks win? 8.
Did they win 8? Yeah, they did win 8.
8-9. They had a losing
They had a
record.
losing record. You can't tell a nigga what a
This
losing.
year.
And he hyping this motherfucker
And they
up.
still went to the Super Bowl, and they might beat the Cowboys. The
Everybody else
Packers
was
couldn't even
7
make the
and
Super Bowl.
10 fight.
All the Packers had to do was beat the Detroit Lions.
Who you said had a winning culture
They
and
do.
who are better
Now,
than
this year.
Oh,
I don't understand how this hard. This is hard to digest.
Hey, listen, man.
I don't understand how this
Russell
hard to
Wilson
digest.
worked out with his receivers, and we see what got him. Maybe he
Thank
did the
you.
right thing.
Working out with
I
your
was
receivers
with
don't
you,
think
Spike.
shit.
And then I thought about that. I'm like, wait a minute.
They
maybe
had
he
Jerry
said-
Judy talking about some-
Touche.
that ain't the nigga who y'all say he is.
Touche.
Well, the records, dude. Nigga.
They came in defense of us.
I know. And what that get them? Are they in the playoffs too?
Ain't nobody.
Hey, Russ- hey,
ain't
Russ-
nobody defending Aaron Rodgers but
Hey,
y'all.
Russ balled out them last couple weeks though. When
They
when-
only defended
when
him
Hackett
because
got
they know
fired.
he ain't going anywhere.
That's true.
Because they already said we not trading this motherfucker. So
When
get him out.
Hackett got fired. Russ
Anyway, we
started
don't have
playing
that
well.
many, so this will be quick. Musa, Bears aren't trading Fields. Bears can't say that Fields is definitely their QB because they need to drive up the price of the pick.
Then ain't no. How do you drive up the price for a number one pick? It's the number one pick in a QB driven draft class.
Yeah.
How? What else are you like? Oh, we got to drive this up. This ain't number 5. This ain't number 8. It's the
Yeah.
number one pick in the fucking draft. If you're telling me that your GM after the season Justin Fields had just him as a QB, you said he damn near top 5 in rushing yards. And you're saying that we can go back to the draft and get somebody else. You won't fuck with
A
the nigga.
smaller QB
A
who
smaller
might
QB
get hurt
who's
like
not as
Tua did.
athletic and who has proven to get hurt in college. At least Justin Fields didn't get. I don't think he got hurt in college like that.
Nah.
So, come on.
Whedon Boy said, I think this is talking about Lamar Jackson. Very unfair to count last year when half the team was on injury reserve. Very unfair. Maybe. Okay. I see.
Yeah,
your point.
y'all the one talking about giving.
How
black
is it
people
unfair?
Grace. Y'all niggas ain't giving Lamar grace with his hurt team, but y'all and this nigga don't even have a. Name me the weapons that he got.
He ain't being reasonable.
Him not having the weapons is evidence to me that the Ravens don't care about him.
That's
Mhm.
facts.
Eric Jones, y'all still hating on Prime or C Division now?
What vision?
That's
On
what
what?
I want to know.
On what?
Ain't nobody hating on Prime.
My shit's still blurred.
Prime? Like
Dion.
Dion?
Yeah, there's only one
I
Prime.
ain't hating on him. I just said I was disappointed.
I commended him.
Yeah, who hate on him?
Me?
Oh yeah.
Ken
Yeah,
did.
I ain't changed.
Ken
I ain't seen
I'm
shit
mad
yet.
at him. I ain't hate on him. No.
What would we hate on him for?
They want to group us in with all them niggas that was saying that he
He a
sell
sellout.
I'm mad at him, but I
Oh,
ain't
he
hating on
is
him.
a sellout.
He did
He
sell
is a
out,
sellout.
but he's not a sellout in my opinion. I'm just
He is. He's a sellout.
Mm.
But you know,
He
he's
did enough-
selling for himself.
I'm
though.
saying he did enough in the black community where like what
Oh my god,
did he? He done
let's go.
enough.
No,
What other
bruh.
Hall of Famer is going to the Jackson State type
Bruh.
college?
to benefit himself.
I'm just saying. Well, that's speculation. What's
It's not
facts?
speculation. It's
Hey, man.
facts.
We've seen the Dion effect starting to kick in with
Ooh, Hugh Jackson.
Hugh Jackson. With the,
Hey,
Hugh Jackson had the Rolls Royce.
You see that kid, bruh? Hugh Jackson.
That's the Dion effect. That's what you've been.
Hugh Jackson is a plum fool.
All he needed was like a chunk of money to start throwing it out like that. Boy, that would have
Bruh,
made
oh
it,
my
man.
God.
He would have got him
Come
some
on,
recruits
bruh.
from that.
Uh,
Dion. I don't hate Dion.
All right.
I don't know if I care enough to.
I'm
say
looking
I
forward to
want-
see what happens in Colorado.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to see what happens. I don't know. I don't care if they win or lose. I'm just looking forward to see what happens.
seeing what happens.
Ghostman 231. Mahomes, they tried so hard to find another QB1. No one better. 1 seed, an MVP not slowing down. Plus, Isaiah Pacheco, a 7-round steal. Yeah, they saying Isaiah is nice, bro.
Who is that?
That running back. They say they probably got one there.
Pacheco. Oh, the Chiefs running back.
Yeah, and he took Tyreek number.
Yeah, number 10.
Damn.
Right, he probably got more touchdowns than
They haven't given Patrick Mahomes his credit though. He's been amazing. This
What's
season.
crazy is that the credit he deserves is that we keep forgetting how trash the Chiefs defense is and how he puts a whole spick and span cleanup job on that.
They got
because
one player.
They can't stop.
They've had one good player on defense since
They
he's been
can't
there.
stop nobody if they
Ghostman,
wanted
bro,
to.
I don't know what this means. What y'all think of both Packers round 1 picks pushing staff? I think that's Quay Walker.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
first
we
round
got
pick,
you,
Craig
bro.
Walker. I mean, it was a dumbass decision that may have
It was
cost them the
stupid.
game.
Yeah, we already talked
And it's the
about it.
second ejection of the year too.
Yeah, appreciate you, Ghost, man. But yeah, that
He a good
He
player.
apologized.
That
He a
was
good
crazy.
player.
He was remorseful. He was very remorseful.
Yeah,
he was crying when he walked off the field.
Yeah.
He was pouting and crying like a little kid.
Yeah, he was doing some goofy shit for
Why did he
was.
do that?
I hate seeing big ass niggas do that shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, you too big for all that.
I seen some good memes from it.
That was hilarious.
So yeah, that was it.
That was it.
Mhm.
Damn.
We got
so,
through
yeah.
most of it. We didn't get through all the shit.
I know. Oblivion came on. I didn't read it. I just kind of showed it because they ain't really much.
I was gonna
This
say
is
tune
the
in next
end of
week because we're gonna have a conversation on Zion.
it. Yeah. What we gonna talk about Zion?
We gotta have to have a conversation.
Oh
On
my
Zion.
God, bro. Why are we doing?
And we gotta
this?
have a conversation about Donovan
You
Mitchell.
talking about?
You know, he gonna
injuries?
sit here and wait until this man just. He ain't said shit all year.
I did say good
You
things.
said like one sentence.
I said what else? I
And
said
as soon as the man go down, now he want to have
I'm
to
just
talk
saying
about
we
it.
gotta have a conversation.
Sound kind of Lamar.
You don't know what direction I was going in with the conversation.
Kicking the black man while he
Don't
down,
it sound
bro.
kind of Lamar to you?
Sound kind of
How?
Because he plays awesome when he's out there, but then he goes
Oh,
down
how
when you
is
need
the-
him.
When can
Oh,
we depend on
Same
it?
thing.
does Zion have to?
Report.
Do we have to know about Zion's contract negotiations? We just know in the thief of the night, we knew Zion got paid, right?
All right, we'll talk.
That's why we. And what happens when you get paid? What I always tell y'all, when you got
Zion.
paid, we have expectations. Which is why I have Dak making the NFC title game. If he don't, he's done to me because he got paid, like y'all said. So we got expectations. You know what I'm saying? When Herbert and Trevor Lawrence and Burrow and all them niggas get paid, I have expectations.
Damn, you had Dak over Josh Allen?
Yeah,
He's crazy. Igwe, yes.
Josh
the,
Allen's top
the
6.
Thursday show is on is on hiatus, so we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do there. But we're gonna we'll figure something out. But yeah, coming into this year, no Thursday show, but yeah, we're talking internally.
I don't
about
have
what to do
Josh
there.
Allen getting to the AFC title game.
Who do you have beating? Who do you have beating?
Bengals. Bengals or the Chiefs.
But Josh
most
Allen-
likely it's gonna be the Bengals.
Take aside from what happened, Josh Allen was in the driver's seat,
What driver's seat?
number 1 seed.
He was in Cincinnati. What was that game?
7-3.
7-3 with Burrow about to that. First of all, that Bills defense is horrendous, especially with
All
Von
the
Miller
more-
out.
all the
That
more
sec-
reason
you
to
see
put
that
him up
secondary?
there.
Huh?
All the more reason he's up there.
No, I'm just talking about just playoff wise now. I ain't talking about my list is my list. I ain't gonna say shit about me, but I don't think the Bills is gonna do that much this season. This postseason.
All right. Well, NFL's almost over, y'all, for one NBA talk, so we're gonna get to it. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us, man. So we back in action. Catch us next week, man, as we recap the first round, the wildcard games, football. So yeah, lots to talk about. So
We'll touch on NBA probably with divisional round, but yeah, wild card weekend.
That's the biggest weekend in football right there.
Mhm.
That's the best.
We getting
weekend.
close to the NBA talk though.
Yeah, that's
Some
the best
Like I
football
said,
weekend
we're
of the
having
year.
conversations about Zion and Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. Other than an opening weekend, this is the best weekend of football of the year.
it's all right. We'll catch y'all next week. We out.
Love this shit.
Man, I'm so mad.